Live from the Ingles studio.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere. Coherent Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. I'm live in the Ingles studio. He's live at Mullet Manor. Jeremy Greene, did you pass the time well yesterday after we signed off? Are you okay? Did the back recover?
Well, I mean, I'm not back to where I want to be, but I did get out of bed this morning without any screaming.
That's the story of being 35 years old. So,
well, I haven't cried today, which that's growth. Happy about that. And so I think we're on the mend. I'm hopeful.
Okay.
I'm hopeful that tomorrow I will be fully mobile because I have meetings literally all day. I have pushed as far as I can push, and tomorrow if I have to use a walker, I will do it because I have to actually do things.
Yes, we got things to do. Here in the Sportsocracy, it is going to be today part 2 of the Roasting the NFL Draft. I did finish the roast last night when I got home, not the pot roast. I wish I had a pot roast. God, I love pot roast. I'm going to have to make one of those now.
Man, you're
anyway, fat. Yeah, I am. I got that fat brain. Yeah, you say roast, and I don't think Tom Brady roast. I'm thinking pot roast. Some mashed potatoes, little carrots, and oh, it's so good. Anyhow, I finished the greatest of all time, the GOAT roast of Tom Brady on Netflix last night. Now, that's kind of what sparked this. We're all still kind of cleaning up after the NFL draft. We've been through almost half of the league. We'll get the other half in today, and then tomorrow will be a Power Rankings Wednesday, where we will further break down all of the moves in the offseason by each and every one of the 32 teams in the NFL. Today we're going to start off with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then we'll work our way down to the end, all in alphabetical order. Off-season stuff going on in the NFL. You have you've had a couple of pickups been made. Did you have a headline that you really wanted to draw attention to today in the search? The Andrews Pete pickup, maybe, Jeremy? You want to break that down for us?
Well, I mean, it's always really telling when a team that signs a player is not overly happy, and a team that loses a player is ecstatic. That usually means probably not worth discussing all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I did love the beat writers that were like, Andrews Pete had a role in moving the Saints along after Sean Payton, and that's a really nice way of saying he had done absolutely nothing that we could put a finger on, so we're just going to wax poetic for a couple lines and then move on and hope nobody noticed it.
One story that caught fire yesterday as well was Kirk Cousins. It's been revealed that one of the main reasons that he decided to leave the Minnesota Vikings is because they planned on drafting a quarterback. Ouch.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So Minnesota went to him and said, hey, we want to sign you back, but we do plan on drafting your successor. And he went, nah, I'm good. I'll go somewhere where I'm more wanted. He went for more guaranteed money to Atlanta. Atlanta didn't tell him what they were doing in the draft, and they drafted a quarterback. Hence the response of Kirk Cousins after the pick, which this is disappointing to say the least.
Well, I moved my family. It's way hotter here. The traffic is exponentially worse. And I wound up with the young quarterback now, I do have to say this. I don't judge Kirk Cousins for not wanting to be on a team that drafted a young quarterback. We do this a lot. You do understand that that's a really uncomfortable situation, right?
Absolutely it is.
That you're intended to mentor the guy that's eventually going to put you in the unemployment line. Would you want to do that? I heard there have been a lot of quarterbacks over the years that went, I'm not here to bring along the guy underneath me. Would you want to do that? Like if I told you that we were putting you out to pasture and I really need you to train this young buck that's going to replace you, how many times would you spit in his food? And why would it be 16 times a day?
Why would it be a bunch? Why would it be a bunch? Because every misstep that I take, and a guy like Kirk Cousins, who is already, he lives on that line of love him, hate him, game to game, depending on how he plays. If he comes out and he throws 3 picks in a game, he could throw for 400 yards, but you're still going, oh, it's big game Kirk. There we go. Not going to be able to win.
Well, I mean, I can't wait for big game Kirk to now be gone in Minnesota, and you get Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. Mm-hmm. If that's evolution, your next quarterback is going to be a ficus.
I would be fine with it if it's 2 years down the road. I'm Kirk Cousins. I've already been in Atlanta for 2 years. I got 2 years left on my contract. I'm 38 years old. I don't really know that I want to play past 40 years old. Then I'm okay with it. Then I would be open to, yeah, let's draft the next guy. I'll show him what I can do or show him the path. That's your plan forward because I may not be here. I'll be more willing to do it that way. But not when I'm 36 years old and I just signed a 4-year contract.
And basically, I'm in the prime of my career.
For 4 damn years, having this guy breathing down my neck the whole time because y'all just spent top 10 draft capital on him. Every time I come out and, like I said, throw 3 interceptions in a game, hopefully it ain't a bunch, but I am Kirk Cousins. And I feel like he's done that from time to time during his career.
A lot. It's a lot.
It's going to be the entire fan base, every talk show, the big sports talk stations down there in Atlanta, every Monday afterward are going to be talking about, is it time to move on to Michael Penix? And I'm going to have to put up with that for 4 solid years. No, thank you.
All right, I have a question. Just since we talked about because we did talk about Atlanta yesterday with our roasting the NFL teams after the draft.
Yes.
Can you think of a quarterback that's ever been more underappreciated than Kirk Cousins? I feel like there is one. I just don't know who it is.
No, I don't. Not that I can think of in my lifetime. There may have been, guys back in the day or before I started watching football. I can't think of one that's more underrated.
The only one I could come to nationally was Phillip Rivers, but Charger fans loved him.
Yeah.
Viking fans hated Kirk Cousins by the end.
I was thinking Phillip Rivers falls into that category, but he never, I don't know. He never pushed to win anything really in the playoffs.
They were the 1 seed in the AFC. He just wasn't particularly good in the playoffs.
Right, exactly.
Like Kirk's in the same boat.
I was going to say Matthew Stafford, but after he won the Super Bowl, that changed.
Oh, and the love for Matthew Stafford while we were in Detroit, I can't get on board with that one. He's beloved in 2 cities and will be forever. It's just, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around. And maybe I'm biased because I am a lifelong New York Jet fan, and the best quarterback I've ever seen was 4 plays of Aaron Rodgers, where the biggest thing he did was fall down and break his jejunum. Mm-hmm. That's the best quarterback play I've seen in my life. 2 would be Chad Pennington. There will be no Chad Pennington slander. Just before you even say it, I will fight you from afar.
Didn't say anything. Didn't say a word.
Great West Virginia feller as well.
Mm-hmm. 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 And that says everything that needs to be said about the bar for New York Jets quarterback play.
I find it funny, a team like Minnesota that has been, I mean, let's be really honest. Who's the best quarterback they ever drafted? Because it wasn't Fran Tarkenton. It wasn't Randall Cunningham. It wasn't Warren Moon. It might be Dante Culpepper.
Yes.
And you do on Kirk Cousins to the point of, well, we got to draft another quarterback. Oh, love him. I love J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. Are you sure? Because he's awful Christian pondery to me. But that's, I mean, I know that's.
But if I'm Minnesota, was I in for 4 years? Was I ready to commit 4 years to Kirk Cousins?
Well, that depends. Where are you? Are you in a place where you think you can actually contend? Because if that's where your brain's at, you're going to be sorely disappointed. I don't give a damn who your quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Kirk got squatted on, and I don't love it. And now he goes to Atlanta, and the same thing happens. You spend all that money, and you do all of that just to do exactly what he was running away from in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for. You might get it. And its name might be J.J. McCarthy.
You may be right. You may be right. Kirk Cousins may be the most disrespected, undervalued quarterback, at least in the modern era.
Curtis Davis in our YouTube comments, I think he just proved my point. He said, we still love Phillip Rivers, so you can totally take that D out of loved. They still love him. Kirk Cousins, I don't know a Minnesota fan that likes Kirk Cousins. They might have dealt with him, but in terms of, oh, yeah, I bought his jersey and I've got a shrine in my house that I'll remember the Kirk Cousins days fondly forever.
Really? You don't know a one?
I don't know a Viking fan that likes him. By the end, it was blowing my mind when he went into free agency that seemingly every Viking fan wanted him to sign anywhere else. Didn't care where it was. Didn't care if it was in the NFC. Didn't care if it was a team they were going to have to go through.
Right. And that's kind of what I was getting at. I'm in the position of the Minnesota Vikings, was I all in for 4 years at $180 million? I don't think so, because I've played this game for so long. He's 36 years old. I mean, hell, we even talked about maybe it's time for Minnesota just to move on and make another plan. So if they went to Kirk Cousins with, we're good keeping you around for another 2 years, but we are going to draft the next guy because we see the end. We see the end of this coming. If that's disrespectful, then, that's your opinion. But Kurt doesn't want to. I don't want to do that. I still have at least 4 good years of football left in me. And now every quarterback has to have the mindset of, if I'm going to have the long career, I'm going to be in it till I'm 40 because they do enough to protect me.
Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. Atlanta does not exactly have, I'll say, a history of great quarterback play. And before you give me Matt Ryan, just understand that he was kind of like presidential terms. About every 4 years, he was really good. Those other 3, he was just coasting along. Kind of like the people we elect during presidential elections.
Riding off Roddy White and Julio Jones.
You do understand that there is a possibility. I mean, I see a path that what I'm getting ready to say happens. That 3 years from now, we will look at the Washington Commanders, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Atlanta Falcons and say the best quarterback play you've gotten in the last 20 years was from Kirk Cousins for all 3 of you.
Yep.
And none of you like him. Because Atlanta, I'm telling you right now, that's not going to end well. I am super dialed into Atlanta because I got a lot of friends that live in Atlanta. They're already ready to move on from Kirk Cousins, and he has not played a down yet.
So stupid. Such a dumb franchise. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it is the ultimate disrespect, especially after you see this report. That the reason that he went to Atlanta, or one of the reasons that he went to Atlanta, there were many. His wife's family lives down there, and it was familiar and playing indoors. There were a lot of factors here. More guaranteed money. Sure, that didn't hurt. But one of the main reasons was I was not going to be on board with a rookie quarterback. Minnesota was honest and open with me about this, and then Atlanta goes behind my back and takes a quarterback. It just makes no sense.
I feel like you ranked those. I feel like you ranked those in the wrong order. For $190 million, Kirk Cousins would have played in the Bermuda Triangle on a floating raft surrounded by sharks. So you tell me, her family lives there. Isn't that great? We're just one big happy. We just love family. It means everything. Make that out to Kirkland Cousins III and make sure she hits every Friday because we're going to have a problem.
We all know more money means more money. It means a better status. I don't feel like Kirk Cousins is the guy solely driven by money. If they had told him that you're our guy for the next 4 years and we will give you equal money, he would still be in Minnesota. They did not want to commit to him. They wanted to move on. They wanted to maybe keep him, but at a lesser price. We'll get the next guy and you can train him. No, thank you. I'm not interested.
I feel like Kirk would have been wherever would have given him the best chance to start and win. Now, if the money was greatly discrepant, he would have been wherever gave him the biggest check. Because yes. I'm just going to be honest with you. The next person that I meet that is not driven by money, and I'm not saying that you're willing to like throw your grandmother off a cliff or anything like that. If you're telling me you'll bypass money, I'll believe that when I see it. Because for the right amount of money, I would do this show with Joe Biden and Triumph the Comic Dog. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm as slotty as they come. I am the New England Patriot receiver of radio broadcasters. I don't care if I have to put on overalls with one nip hanging out. For the right amount of money, I'm here.
There you go. Jeremy is here for a good time, not for a long time. And he wants the biggest check possible.
No doubt.
You get it. That's awesome. You're in the Sportsocracy. That's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Roasting the Draft continues with the Jacksonville Jaguars after the break.
Hi, we're Comparing Insurance Agents.
Clear. Thank you.
Never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparing Insurance Agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at comparinginsurance.com. Comparing Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Bonus bucks. No, not those. These. Win $1,000 in bonus bucks right here. Keep listening for the keywords to enter at our website.
Brought to you by Discount Shoes.
Step into savings at Discount Shoes on Brevard Road. Find your favorite brands for the whole family at unbeatable prices. From sporty sneakers to chic sandals, we've got it all. Hurry in and walk out with a deal that'll have you stepping in style. Discount Shoes, 1255 Brevard Road, Asheville.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Freeform Radio, a unique blend of Americana, classic alternative, and roots rock. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Freeform Radio, and listen now, commercial-free. free never sounded so good.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and... Still with me? Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 45... All right, just making sure. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
When the flowers come into bloom, it is like a field of dreams. Hi, I'm Belinda Smith. My husband Russ and I own Briar Hill Farm in Pickens, South Carolina. Ingles has really brought awareness to locally grown flowers. And they've made it convenient for customers to be able to purchase local flowers, and customers realize the advantage of local flowers being fresher and lasting longer.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy. Back on the YouTube stream, also live in the Ingles studio. Half of us anyway. Mullet on location in Mullet Manor.
With a lovely ice pack on his...
Yet, have you?
Say that again?
Are you there?
I am.
There he is. You hadn't got your logo yet, have you?
For Mullet Manor?
Yeah.
I haven't had time to work on that. Been working on something a little more, profitable, a little more show related. It's probably a June project if I were guessing.
Well, I think you should just draw like a mullet symbol on the wall back there. It's a little bland. That's all I'm saying. It's a little bland.
Well,
behind you.
Okay. I mean, I can drop the green screen if you want me to.
Oh, I didn't know you was all fancy like that now.
Oh yeah, I got a retractable green screen behind me. If I can find the remote, I'll just randomly drop it during this segment. Let her roll down behind me.
There you
then
go.
It'll look like I killed Kermit the Frog sitting behind me.
The NFL draft. We've already given you our NFL draft grades with the in the spirit of the big roast that happened on Sunday in L.A. with Tom Brady roasting the NFL draft here. PFF's take on the Jacksonville Jaguars draft was, it was pretty much just, hey, look, they got a bunch of SEC players. How did you feel about what they did in the draft? Getting the three dudes from LSU, did they fill slot or not?
Well, I didn't love the defensive tackles from LSU. I thought they overdrafted practically everybody. The most interesting thing that's come out of Jacksonville for me is how close it came to them taking Terry and Arnold. I remember before the draft, we penciled Terry and Arnold in there for what felt like forever.
Yes.
And we got a lot of pushback of, he doesn't fit that scheme, or, he's not what Jacksonville does. I can tell you this definitively. That went down to the last minute. And there were scouts that were banging the table for Terry and Arnold. The confusing part of that to me is that then you brought in two project corners. So you were so locked into needing to add to that cornerback room, but you then didn't really do that.
No,
you added a blitzer in Jerry and Jones, and that's what I think he is a hybrid. I think he's going to play corner, but he's going to kind of play that blitzing off the edge slot corner role. And DeAndre Prince, who, if he plays 2 years from now, I think you might be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
That part's just interesting to me.
Yeah, the only rationalization that you can make there for going Brian Thomas Jr. over the corner, over Terry and Arnold. The only rationalization you can make there is that they thought Brian Thomas's talent outweighed, right? Wouldn't you?
Well,
don't you think that's how you have to rationalize that?
Well, that's not exactly how I would have rationalized it. I would have rationalized it as we lucked into Trevor Lawrence. We've done a lot to support him, but this will be, I think, almost undeniably the best offensive line he's ever had. And so we're going to prop up the offense. You look at the defense, you added Eric Armstead. Hopefully you get back a fully healthy Tyson Campbell. You added Darnell Savage, who can do that. But they're going to blitz a lot, by the way. As I'm sitting here looking at this depth chart, they have 7 players on that defense. That's the best thing you do, is come after quarterbacks. So, I mean, maybe that was the thought. I liked Brian Thomas. I had him as high as 9 going through this process because I thought the 3 receivers early on would be all gone by 6. And I would have been fine with that. Getting him at 23 is great value. I just look at Jacksonville. I'm not really sure what it is that they do superiorly well. Because, I mean, now you're in a division. We walked in thinking they were going to walk to the 1 seed last year because the AFC South was so bad. Well, that changed quickly. Because, I mean, now Indianapolis is legit and Houston's the best team in the division. I'm just not exactly – what position group right now would you say Jacksonville's better than Houston?
Boo.
I don't know that there is one.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there is one. They've got them in every category. I mean, they've got the better tight end. They've got a better wide receiver room. There's not one.
That's where I was at. I mean, I might take that running back room, but that's it. That's it.
Really?
Well, because, I mean, you know how I feel about Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon has done less with more than practically any running back in the league. Now, he's really good catching out of the backfield. And if they're planning on keeping Dameon Pierce as the more thunder, okay. I would probably still take Houston there, but Travis Etienne's the best one of the bunch. He's inconsistent, but he's the best one of the bunch.
Most talented.
I said what I said.
Of the bunch. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I will say this. The one name that I've heard seemingly every time I've talked to anybody about Jacksonville is Keelan Robinson. The running back out of Texas that they took that none of us could really understand why. They have a real belief that sitting behind Bijan Robinson and sitting behind Jonathan Brooks hit a diamond there that nobody knows about. I will be interested to see how that goes.
Was reading something earlier on them that, if anything, Keelan Robinson, they feel like, can be the new special teams returner. He can be the new returner in the new kickoff scheme. And so we'll see if he gets any more playing time other than that.
I hear they have a bigger role in mind for him.
Because he's got 3 decent guys in front of him in that running back room.
Are you sure? I know
like Tank or Dearness.
I know that you have a fondness for
backups.
you have a fondness for Tank Bigsby because you both have the same name. But I don't know that I would say that they're fine. They're NFL football players.
If they're not fine, then Houston's running back room outweighs them greatly. Because between Dameon Pierce and Joe Mixon, I'll take that all day over just Travis Etienne if they don't have another guy.
Well, the only problem I would say with that is that Dameon Pierce apparently Xeroxed his keister because everybody in Houston seems to hate him, and I'm not really sure where that came from because they were all in a year ago, and they have done everything in their power to trade him since.
Yes. Well, I mean, he didn't have the greatest of years last year. I mean, he was losing snaps to Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary was really good for this team last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's Devin Singletary, but if you took just that 6 to 8 week sample size, he was really, really good.
So Jacksonville, did they do themselves any great favors? Yes. And
I like that you have a high flyer receiver
Trevor
that can beat you over the top.
Yeah,
especially one that's 6'4".
To me, I think you nailed that pick. You know how I feel about Mason Smith as well. So the first two picks were great. I think Jordan Jefferson is going to be a fine backup for a depth piece. Run stuff in on that line.
I don't have any qualm with what you just said. The problem is look at the guys that went around these picks. Mm-hmm. Everything's in a vacuum. Okay, I just started summer scouting for 2025, which we will have things coming out on the YouTube channel in very short order. And, of course, we're going to start with quarterbacks, which this might be the most interesting quarterback class I've ever seen because I'm not sure any of these dudes are actually any good. But somebody's going to go one next year, and I have a weird feeling he plays for your team.
Yep.
But the first thing that I noticed as I was going through my lists and I was compiling notes is, man, day 2 next year is not nearly as good as it was this year. I was looking at guys going at the end of the 3rd round that in terms of, and this is preliminary grade, we still got a whole season to go. There were guys going in the end of the 3rd round that I think could have snuck into the back end of the 1st, definitely in the beginning of the 2nd. And Jacksonville is out here taking projects. That's the thing I don't understand. And I never will understand. And teams do it every single year, and it makes my brain hurt.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Some people not too happy about the Brian Thomas Jr. pick. Maybe wanted something else there. Another pick that's gotten a lot of heat, the Kansas City Chiefs taking Xavier Worthy. Some love it, some not so much. We'll talk about Kansas City. We'll roast their draft after the break. Nice.
This is your Exogen Tempo Scan.
You're clear.
On ESPN Asheville.
An afternoon where we'll see some isolated
Wait, did you hear that?
Just hold on to that for another second.
Well, I'd been holding on to it for like 65 seconds. You shouldn't have been able to hear that. I muted my mic.
Low. A few showers thunder.
That didn't work.
We'll get up to 84 today. Tonight we'll drop most likely down into the low 60s. A few showers, thunderstorms around tomorrow and again on Thursday. And maybe a stronger storm or two, especially to the east. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local
I hear you now.
dealer. Traininfo.com.
Can you hear me?
It's hard to stop a train.
Above and beyond.
Yes.
It's what defines.
Did you hear now?
To our customers at Parks Ford.
I hear now. Yes.
Parks
I was hitting the wrong button.
For you to provide a one-of-a-kind buying experience.
There's a mute button that I didn't notice until just now.
And trusted accountability. Stop by to experience the Parks Promise yourself. A promise to do better.
I was reconnecting my microphone to the wireless server.
Stop in and shop parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Breathe easier in your home with Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning. They're the company you can trust to get your home insanely clean. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com is paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Show Mom some love with a beautiful floral arrangement from Stargazers Designs. Mother's Day is May 12th. Order early and mention this ad to get 10% off your order. Call Stargazers Designs at 828-254-3621.
Oh, this North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club espresso is strong.
Pace yourself. New winners tend to overdo it on the coffee. And with new scratch-offs out, well...
Hey guys, I'm a new winner. My name's Steve. What's your name? I really love this coffee. Wow, this place is great. Glad I grabbed a new scratch-off. Okay, nice to meet you. Gonna get a massage. Ooh, I think I need to relax.
Told you.
This month's tickets pack $135 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 3.41 to 4.25. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal
What team
favorite,
we doing
Mean
next?
Green.
And number 3 at 6%, 8,
Kansas City.
Axe Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
At Ingles, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville. Snoop Dogg is getting into the college football game. No, not the game, not the video game. Although that's coming soon, right? They're not pushing that off on me again, are they?
No, it looks like you're about 2 months away.
Can't wait.
And I'll go ahead and tell you, I saved up some vacation time just for when that game drops.
Jeremy's gonna take a week off just so he can sit on his beanbag and eat Cheetos and play the NCAA football game.
No doubt, Jeremy Green's taking over the Fighting Mike Houston's. I'll be his. I'll be the chief of staff for the Fighting Mike Houston's. Take them to national title glory.
Yes, let's go. Group of 5 champions. Come on. Snoop Dogg is getting into the college football bowl business, so Barstool Sports no longer has the Arizona Bowl. That now belongs to Snoop Dogg. It's going to be called the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Apparently, so they have their own beverage line now. And it will be groundbreaking because this will be the first bowl game to ever be sponsored by an alcoholic beverage company. I feel like we could have done this better. I don't know. I feel like Snoop needed a bigger bowl than the Arizona Bowl.
I can tell you definitively Snoop Dogg does not need a bigger bowl. That's no doubt in my mind. Fine. The Arizona Bowl makes me look meek. Because it's just, hey, who wants to pay us this year? Because it was Rob Gronkowski at one point. Barstool had it at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop, okay? This is a lot of effort for Idaho to take on Montana State, and I just don't care.
Although, I will say, it's a brilliant marketing tool because I was today years old when I found out that there's such a thing called Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Now I have to go find it.
I knew that, and it's not bad. It's not terrible.
Really?
It's not terrible.
Really?
No.
Where have you seen it?
I don't think we carry it in this state. I don't think we carry that in this state.
Oh, it's like a seltzer?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, anytime you combine things like that, it's going to be a seltzer or something of that nature.
Yeah.
You have ABC commissions that get real weird about things that could be deemed as selling it to children. Don't want that. Speaking of things that need to be sold much better than they are, the WNBA season started. Did you know that? A lot of people don't. We've started doing things.
It's just preseason.
Well, okay, the games have happened. Caitlin Clark's debut was very readily available on the WNBA streaming service, but she's not the only player that played in college basketball last year that a lot of people have an interest in. Angel Reese had her debut for the Chicago Sky. Would you like to hear where you could stream that game? Would you like to hear it again? Because it was nowhere.
Nowhere.
You would have had a satellite from the 90s to get to this game. So apparently somebody on Twitter, they realized that. And they realized that if you're not offering it, you can't preclude me from streaming it in the arena. So whoever this person was took out their little iPhone and they streamed it from Twitter the entire game. And there's nothing the WNBA could do about it because you didn't offer the product anywhere. Mm-hmm. So you can't demonetize it. You can't take it down. How many people do you think watched a cell phone live stream of a Chicago Sky preseason game? Now, I'm going to give you a hint. This number is incredibly misleading.
Oh, I'll go 50,000.
2.5 million.
No way.
That's the view count as of the publication of the story that I'm reading here.
Doesn't count.
But why does it not count?
Because, I mean, you don't have to watch it, but for a second or two, right?
You don't have to watch it at all.
Counted.
You don't have to watch it at all. All it has to do is appear in your For You, and you scroll past it. The second it hits, the way Twitter is coded, there's basically a box that goes around your visual spectrum. The minute that goes through that box, counts as a view.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many people actually watch this? I'm going to say 2.5 thousand.
That's more likely. How many times was it liked? How many times was it shared?
It was retweeted 2,700 times. Or reposted, okay, as we now have to call it, which is stupid.
You can quadruple the repost number, and I will accept that. I'll give you that because I think that's being generous. If you told me 8,000 people watched it, okay, more than 35 seconds of it, I bet that's your number.
I was just dumbfounded that you would have this much momentum and you couldn't even find a way to stream the game.
Well, you know.
Tell me you're going to screw this up without telling me you're going to screw this up.
Well, I mean, they already have. You've already screwed it up. Because I've seen very little about the start of the season. It's almost as if you have to dig for it. So I don't feel like the WNBA is really trying all that hard.
Well, this was my fear the entire time.
ESPN would be pushing this more.
Well, this was my fear the entire time.
Right. ESPN's been carrying the water for the WNBA for a long time. They made a lot off of the Caitlin Clark thing. I don't feel like they're – I don't know. Maybe the season's too far away. Or here's the thing. When they don't have a stake in it and they're not running the games, they don't care either.
No. They care about getting viewership on there, and that's the way all of these work. That is the reason you cannot rely on your broadcast partner to be what makes you all the hay marketing-wise. Because they're going to market the games they have. They don't care about games that are on other entities. It's just it's comical to me that this entity that is attached to the NBA cannot figure this out any better than this.
Nope. Now what they need to do is they need to get the NBA to handle it. I don't know how that deal has to work. What you have to do, you get that team on it. At least that way you get them, you get people talking about it. I just don't feel like there's been much talk about it at all.
Maybe you should put it on Netflix. 40 gajillion people watched a roast of Tom Brady. You know why? Because it was on Netflix.
I was going to say, it was on Netflix, and also it was the only football thing to consume, which we all know from the numbers for the draft and the numbers that are getting ready to come out for whatever schedule special comes out.
By the way, I have an update on that. It looks like that will be next Thursday. And,
brutal.
And a little inside baseball. It does appear that they're going to be releasing the schedule by days. So we'll have like the Monday night schedule one day. We'll have the Thursday night schedule one day. We'll have the Sunday night schedule one day. And then you'll get the whole schedule next Thursday night.
Okay.
The NFL is better than any entity ever at going, hey, NBA, is it your playoffs? Let me just have that. Let me take that from you.
Absolutely. The NFL is not stupid. They are the best marketed sport out there, and they're doing this the right way. This is how this should be done. You know what shouldn't be done this way? Off-season or postseason awards, right? Stop doing this. NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, I think they all do it, where they release a different award every day.
Dumb.
We don't care. You're not catching a headline by releasing Victor Wembanyama as the Rookie of the Year last night, and then I don't know what the hell they'll announce tonight, Sixth Man of the Year or something stupid. Dude, don't do that.
Well, I mean, you jumped the shark. You had this.
The schedule. The schedule needs to be the thing that is broken up into segments.
Well, I mean, you had, the 6th unanimous Rookie of the Year, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. They all went, hey, Wembanyama's the Rookie of the Year? You mean the first guy to ever have a triple-double with blocks? Oh, sweet. First rookie ever? He's the one?
Yeah.
Awesome. In other breaking news, water's wet, and today's Tuesday. Sweet.
I didn't see that coming. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. The Kansas City Chiefs roasting the draft here in the wake of the Tom Brady roast. Kansas City Chiefs went Xavier Worthy with their first pick of the draft. They made the trade with the Buffalo Bills to get up there and get him. I'm not sure you had to do that. And I'm not sure you got the best wide receiver that was on the board.
I can tell you
got
didn't.
The fastest. You got the fastest, that's for sure. But all of the Tyreek Hill comparisons that I've seen, I don't like how that works for Xavier Worthy.
Well, I
put that kind of expectation on him right away, and you think that's going to go well.
I saw a report that said Xavier Worthy's not real physical. That would be like saying I'm not in real good shape. Xavier Worthy is real fast. That's what you got. He's really not the piece that is intriguing to me here. I mean, he's fine. He's going to run real fast. He'll replace Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and frankly, you couldn't be any worse than that. Mm-hmm. Having Pat Mahomes makes up for a lot of ills as a wide receiver, because when you have a guy that's that fast, you have to give them at least a modicum of respect over the top, which is going to let Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce just eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
The one I'm locked in on is Kingsley Suamataia. Because for them to go into this draft, I thought for sure they were going a lineman at the end of the first round. I had been told that the entire process. For them to only take Suamataia as the only real discernible tackle that you added in this draft class, that tells me you have a real big faith that he's going to start early. Because I don't know that you have another option. If it's not him, are we going to play Wanya Morris over there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to struggle to believe that. I don't believe you will.
The best option I got.
I don't, knowing Andy Reid the way that I do, I don't see a path that he would go into a season coming off a Super Bowl with all of the other pieces that they have put in place to make sure that this is set up for another run, that you would trust the blind side of your quarterback who this entire thing runs through. And I like Wanya Morris on the right side, not so much on the left. I feel like Suamataia is going to start early.
Then would they move Jawan Taylor to the left?
No. Let me answer that definitively. Right. Jawan Taylor has never projected as a left tackle for 1 second in his entire life. If you remember when they signed this deal, I wasn't just getting defensive. I was getting flat out angry at people telling me that's what they intended on doing, because that's what dumb teams do.
Yep.
So, no, I think he stays on the right. Suamataia plays on the left, and Wanya Morris swing. And ultimately, he'll replace Jawan Taylor when they figure out money ain't everything, and Jawan Taylor is awful.
Yeah, to me, that was the value pick of the draft. For whatever ills I had about you just taking the speedster in the first round for the wide receiver slot, you cured all of that by landing Sua Matei at the end of the second round.
Well, I mean, the thing you have to remember about Kansas City is that they signed Hollywood Brown, too. So now you have two of the fastest receivers in the NFL. You've got Rashee Rice that can just bleed you coming out of the slot. You still have Kadarius Toney that I don't know exactly what he adds, but between he and Sky Moore and Justin Ross and Justin Watson, there's a lot of guys on this team.
Yes. And don't forget the tried and true Travis Kelce.
And Noah Gray and Irv Smith.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a dangerous team once again. Did they do everything possible to set themselves up for success with the draft, in your opinion?
I'm more locked into what they're going to do in the secondary because I felt like Kansas City went into this draft with three primary needs: wide receiver, offensive line, and cornerback. And just looking at the quarterback room, I feel like Joshua Williams, he obviously has a much bigger role than I thought. I like the kid. You remember I was trying my damnedest to get to Fayetteville to see this kid because I had seen the tape on him, and I was just locked in on I want him to be really, 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 really good. But they don't have a ton of options back behind that.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Not really fair to move on to the Chargers here and only give them like 2 minutes before we take another break. So we'll hold on to that. We'll roll through these faster as we go through the next 2 hours of the program here on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy, you said yesterday that we're getting all the things ready for an exciting new year here in the Sportsocracy. We're hoping to add some more content from some different voices.
Yes.
Also looking to hit the road a little bit more in the coming season.
That's the goal. It was very obvious to us that you guys really enjoyed us being at the draft, really enjoyed us being at the Senior Bowl, really enjoyed us being at the Combine. So we're not ready to announce any of these things, but just know that is one of the reasons that you're seeing me from Mullet Manor is because basically any idea like that, if you're going to do service to it, you started planning it in May. If it's in October, you really started planning this in May.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like we fly by the seat of our keisters quite often, and sometimes we do.
Sometimes we do.
But for the grandiose things, it's a little harder to do that.
Yes. So my idea with this was just to throw it out to the to the house, to all of the listeners. Hit us up in the YouTube comments. Hit us up on social media if there is an event that you no doubt would like for us to try to cover within the within the reasonable footprint. We can't pick up and go to California on a weekend to go check out something at the Coliseum or something.
But maybe there's you got a squirrel in your pocket? You said what? We can't do that. We might not be able to do that, but me can do that.
You can do that if you would like to.
I have enough frequent flyer miles that I
do that.
I have enough frequent flyer miles. I think Elon Musk might actually let me fly to the sun.
Right. But if there's an event locally, maybe you can think of something that we haven't thought about of, a rivalry game during the college football season that may not be on our list. Anything like that. Hit us up in the comments. If there's a cool event around that maybe doesn't get the pub that you think it should, hit us up. Who knows? Who knows where we may lead? We may end up even going, Army-Navy next year. That's been discussed. It's still blowing my mind that as much crap as I've talked about that game, if we have to go, maybe that's the solution there. I will never
that you have to say it live
about it again if I see it real.
Oh no, the solution. I already know the solution. I've pulled audio of you talking smack about this. I'm going to wait till we get real close to the cadets, and then I am going to just hand you over like Snoop Dogg's bowl. There you go, boys. Have fun.
Have at it.
I'm going to go ride around on the subway. I'll be back in an hour.
Yeah. 2024 is going to be a fun year here for the Sportsocracy, and we hope you are along for the ride. Share us out with your friends as well. Invite them to be a part of the family. We'll take the top hour break here. When we come back, we'll continue roasting the 2024 NFL Draft.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville.
And we're clear.
Google reviews.
Stanford.
One patient writes, I'll start by saying I really hate going to the dentist. My anxiety is always through the roof, and I'm always so nervous. However, Summit Dental may be the first place that my anxiety is actually not going through the roof. The staff that works at Summit are an incredible team. They're kind, knowledgeable, and funny. I left feeling confident that we have a plan to help restore my teeth and get me on track to a better smile. Find out more about Summit Dental at AshevilleSummitDental.com or call 828-277-6868.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Good afternoon, where we'll see some isolated showers try to push on through, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but really not too excited about any additional rain chances. Although the chance isn't 0, I would keep it very low. A few showers, thunder showers right through this evening. We'll get up to 84 today. Tonight we'll drop most likely down into the low 60s. A few showers, thunderstorms around tomorrow and again on Thursday. And maybe a stronger storm or two, especially to the east. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is already hiring for summer jobs in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to ExpressPros.com to find your location. That's ExpressPros.com. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit Allstate.
Boobs.
or call for a quote today.
Tired of being overweight and frustrated with diets that never work? You've probably heard all about the new injectables that are bringing life-changing results for millions. If you've thought about this exciting option, you need to call QC Kinetics today. QC Kinetics Weight Loss Protocol gives you access to these exciting injectables that can deliver remarkable results. The medically trained weight loss professionals at QC Kinetics have a comprehensive program, includes using semaglutide and tirzepatide injections with in-clinic supervision and personalized care. Stop struggling and jumpstart your weight loss journey now. QC Kinetics makes these promising new injectables more accessible and more affordable, making your goals more attainable than ever before. Call now to learn more about this next generation weight loss option that can change your life. Let the trusted medical professionals at QC Kinetics
ID's next.
Candidate now. Lose the extra pounds once and for all. Call now for your free consultation. 833-QCK-SLIM. 833-QCK-SLIM. 833-QCK-SLIM.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is live at the Ingles studio and at Mullet Manor. We are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat, continuing to roast the 2024 NFL Draft. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. He is live on location at Mullet Manor.
Hey, I got up and got a snack in the break. Got me an energy drink, and I didn't scream obscenities.
That's
so
awesome.
We're
Great
getting
improvement.
somewhere.
Let's go. Mr. Cripple has been down in the back for a couple of days, and well, it's not gone well. Continuing to roast the NFL Draft here. Let's see. Next up, the Las Vegas Raiders. You love the Raiders. It's hard not to like what the Raiders have done in the offseason. Even I have to say good things about them to this point. The big problem that I have with this team is I don't really believe in your quarterback situation. However, it could be worse. Gardner Minshew was fine last year, filling in Indianapolis. Hell, almost got him to the playoffs. Aiden O'Connell, could be a developmental guy, but I don't really see a future for him in this league.
I do.
You do?
I
You
do.
think he could be a starter, a solid starter for Las Vegas for years?
I didn't say that. You put words in my
Okay.
mouth. You said you
Okay.
didn't see a future for him. I definitely do. I think he will live in that 26 to 36 range of quarterbacks for a long, long time. Sometimes those guys end up like Gardner Minshew and bounce around the league like a ping pong ball looking for an opportunity to actually start. Do I ever think he'll be elite? No. I can tell you a lot of scouts whose opinions I really trust. That was the name they were talking about last year of if he finds the right spot, he could be just fine. And I look at what the Raiders are doing here. It's hard to not like. Now, you look up and
Las
down this
Vegas-
roster, I can't tell you a position that they're not better at than they were 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt there's more talent on this team. The offensive line, I feel like, has greatly improved. The Jackson Powers Johnson pick was awesome, in my opinion. And you get flowers from me for not going after a quarterback.
Well,
you weren't in a position to get one of the big three. You didn't make the drastic move to try to get up there and get one and potentially put yourself in any kind of a danger to sacrificing future capital. You get extra points for me for that.
They tried. I can tell you they tried really hard. The only problem is there was only one quarterback they were willing to move up for. Chicago wasn't coming off one. Washington wasn't coming off two. And the player they wanted wasn't going to be there at three. So it became really easy. It became really easy for them to start stacking the board in a different way. What I will tell you is that I know definitively they liked Michael Penix. There have been conflicting reports on where they would have liked him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a nice closeness to the Raiders, let's put it that way. That the question that I asked was, if Brock Bowers was on the board and Michael Penix was on the board, what would you have done? And basically the response I got was exactly what we did.
Would have taken Brock Bowers.
We would have taken Brock Bowers. They had him as one of the top players on the board. I think they had him at one, to be really honest with you. And I love that. I love taking – when a player falls, invariably it's the smart organization that comes through and stops the drop. Can Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer play together? Absolutely they can. Bowers plays more out of the slot. You added Michael Gallup. You added Jalen Guyton. You still have Trey Tucker. All three of those guys are particularly fast. And that gives you some flexibility when you've got Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams. I feel like this is a team that is going to be low-key really, really good. I'm talking playoff contender good.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's because and it's because of the quarterback. Because I look at the quarterback position and go, I don't know if this team can be that good. Because the AFC is so stacked. I just don't know if you're one of the 7 best teams in the division.
All right, let me ask you a question. Gardner Minshew came from Indianapolis.
Yes.
This roster better or worse than Indianapolis's was last year?
Better.
Not even close. It's better, and it's not even close. Defensively, I look up and down and go, you know what? I don't love your secondary. I don't love your secondary, and I would really like if they could add a true number one corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fond of the front four that I think you can get away with it. Because that's really the only hole that I see, is that the secondary is not great.
Mm-hmm. I feel like with Las Vegas, I'm in the same spot that I've been, for years with the Carolina Panthers. Got stuck in that, would you please just get an offensive line? And I feel like I've been screaming that with the Vegas secondary for an equal amount of time. Please, would you, dear God, get some semblance of a decent secondary?
Well, they've tried. It just hasn't worked. And they've invested a lot of capital in that secondary over the last 6 to 8 to 10 years. Every single one of them's been a bust.
Yes.
I mean, the best corner in that secondary right now was a retread from New England in Jack Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Nate Hobbs. I just feel like I don't like him as much on the outside. But even with that, I keep going back to, you got Max Crosby, you got Christian Wilkins, you got Malcolm Kuntz. And those dudes are going to get after quarterbacks. And I didn't even mention Tyree Wilson that stuck in the top 10 last year.
Mm-hmm. The Los Angeles Chargers. I have seen varying draft grades on them. What was your draft grade for Los Angeles? I don't feel like it was a good one. I may be misremembering that.
I mean, it's going to be hard for it to have been too terrible because you got Joe Alt, who I was absolutely drunk in love with.
Yes.
I'm trying to get back to the form fill. It's got all my draft grades on it.
They were an A for me. And
they were an A- for me.
They were an A- for you. Okay. I was thinking that you had a lower grade on them, but maybe not. I mean, Joe Alt, that was a home run pick, in my opinion. That was never going to go any other way. I told you a month before the draft came that I will never believe that they will ever do anything other than taking Joe Alt at 5. Never believed the J.C. Latham thing.
Oh, you should have.
Trading.
You should have believed that. Just let me make this as perfectly clear as I can. There are people in that front office that are legit pissed that they didn't take J.C. Latham. That's one of those that you can take your victory lap on. They didn't know who they were picking going into the final day. There's a reason that we all had J.C. Latham going there because it was the worst kept secret on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only difference is that I think Harbaugh finally won out. He looked at Joe Ortiz and went, look, I'm the guy. And Joe Alt's a me kind of player. J.C. Latham's a him kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this. No team in the NFL tried to trade out more than the Chargers did. And exactly what I told you was going to happen is exactly what did happen. Mm-hmm. Nobody was sold on J.J. McCarthy. I told you this in the mock draft. I told you this for 2 solid months leading into the draft. You can give me all the mouth words memory times that you want to. But when the rubber meets the road and you have to put your future on a player, I don't see how you're doing it with J.J. McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. If Drake Maye had been on the board or if Jaden Daniels had been on the board, they could have absolutely killed in terms of future capital. And that's what they were building for. So this is where I feel like sometimes you get lost in who the best player is and not necessarily looking at the team. So the Chargers were committed to, if there is a deal to be had, we're going to go get it. What does that tell you? Where do you allocate your resources if you're dead set on making a deal? You commit your resources to a player that you thought you could get at 11 or 12 or 13.
Yes.
So they started doing extra work on J.C. Latham. The scouts, the guys that you entrust to build your draft board, were in love with J.C. Latham. Do you find it ironic that the week that all the scouts come into the room, that's when the J.C. Latham thing leaked? We had been doing it for months. Every time I traded down with the Chargers, who did they pick?
Yeah.
J.C. Latham. Because we all knew it. We just couldn't we couldn't read the tea leaves. So all the scouts are telling all of their media resources, we're all in on J.C. Latham. There are a couple reasons you do that. One is to try to facilitate the trade because you figured out that, well, quarterback's not happening. Because nobody's coming up here to get J.J. McCarthy. Nobody's coming up here to get Michael Penix. Nobody's coming up here to get Bo Nix. There's only one team outside of Atlanta that I think, and Minnesota, that I think would have taken any of these quarterbacks if they fell to them, and that was Penix to the Raiders. And I'm not even sure they would have done that in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
All of these guys went to the only place they could have gone to. So you start trying to drum up interest, and then you get on the clock, and you can't bypass Joe Alt for J.C. Latham. It's not because they didn't love the kid. They did, and I can tell you that definitively.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you get past the Alt pick, and I'm in like, not love.
Because they don't fit you, or because you don't think they fit the team? Because I look at all of the guys that they drafted and go, yeah, that sounds like a Jim Harbaugh guy.
Okay.
Lad McConkey,
so
tough little scrappy
remind me
guy
again,
coming over the middle. Yeah, that makes sense.
It remind me again about all those Super Bowls that Jim Harbaugh won that were deferring to this super antiquated ass system that he's planning on running that I'm supposed to just be foaming at the mouth over. Lad McConkey is not a legit number one receiver. You took him over guys that could be. That is stupid. It will always be stupid. I do not care how good of a route runner he is. Can he get open consistently? And I'm not talking about dinky-dunky 5 yards at a time. Can he actually threaten anybody? Because you don't have one of those guys. You have nobody on that roster outside of Josh Palmer that legitimately scares anybody. I'm never going to like that. Unless you have Tom Brady, who never misses a short area throw, ever, I'll pass on Ladd McConkey at 34. I'm good. Junior Colson, he knows the system. That's all good, and I will give you that. He knows the system. That was still too high. Every other player, I like Cam Hart. I like Cam Hart a lot. He's raw. My takeaway of the Chargers, and just remember that I said this, there's no team in the NFL that I will be heavier on the under for wins than the Chargers.
What is it at?
It swelled at one point. I think it got to 9.5. I'm going to look on DraftKings Sportsbook right now.
All right.
I think this team's a year away. And look, we blamed everything on Brandon Staley. It wasn't just Brandon Staley. Tom Telesco screwed you pretty well in terms of drafting just bums or throwing free agency money at just bums. And you look up and down that roster, I do not see a playoff team. Do you?
I'm not there with, they're definitely a playoff team, but I mean, they're right there with the Raiders.
It's 8.5, by the way.
8.5?
Okay. Outside of quarterback, name me the position where they're better than the Raiders. I'll wait.
Better? No. Comparable? Corner. Their secondary is better.
I'm not 100% sure I agree with you on that.
Really? Asante Samuel Jr. alone is better than anything that the Raiders have.
So that's one player. Asante Samuel Jr. gets hurt. You're exponentially worse than the Raiders.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. I don't judge I don't judge a unit by one dude. I just don't. He could get washed away at sea or start waxing surfboards. Then it turns into a lot of whole bunch of young dudes that I don't think are ready to play football. Oh, Derwin James. Derwin James has been hurt quite a bit. I just don't agree with you.
You don't like Gilman. You don't like
he's
Fulton
fine
at all.
He's fine. Do I think there's anything to jump up and down about? Not really.
I didn't say they were.
Christian Fulton's a slot corner. I mean, I don't see it. And I feel like one of these teams, yes, you have a really good quarterback. He also has absolutely nobody to throw to. Oh, I got Josh Palmer, who's a 2. I love Josh Palmer. He's a 2. Ladd McConkey is a slot guy. Quentin Johnston is an absolute unmitigated bust. DJ Chark does one thing. And your tight end room is Will Dissly and Hayden Hurst. Stop. Oh, and by the way, you have nothing more than the retreads of Baltimore Ravens past in terms of the running game. I'm good. By the way, you want a nice deep flyer? Kamani Vidal will be the starting running back of this team before the end of the year.
Oh, by the way, that was another one. Running back. That's where they got him. That's another position.
I don't agree with you.
You're crazy.
Zaire White or Gus Edwards. For me, it's not even close. As a starter,
yeah.
I mean, one of them's got a lot of tread on the tires. The other one doesn't. And wasn't all that great to begin with. You got to remember, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins have been running behind the line for the Baltimore Ravens, which is like cream of the crop at every position and has been for a decade. There's a big difference between that and running behind Jamari Sawyer. There's just a difference there, especially when you've got a quarterback that likes to air it out 40-something times a game. It's just a clunky build to me.
Okay.
I'm not telling you they're awful. I'm not sitting here telling you they're going to pick in the top 5. I'm telling you that this thought that Jim Harbaugh is going to come in here and fix every ill for the Chargers is kind of dumb, if I was being really honest.
It's not a one-year build, but I do like what they did in the draft. I do think they got Jim Harbaugh type players, and I think they'll be set up for success. You say they don't have the game breaker wide receiver. Well, maybe we'll have a chance to get one of the 4 in next year's draft.
And there are next year receiver is. I can't tell you it's as good as it was this year. It's pretty close.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll go to the other LA team when we come back.
Bonus bucks.
Yes.
No, not those. These. Win $1,000 in bonus bucks right here.
Shoes. Step into savings at Discount Shoes on Brevard Road. Find your favorite brands for
What
the
was
whole
that?
family at unbeatable prices. From sporty sneakers to chic sandals,
What?
Everything like faded out for like 5 seconds.
Stepping in style. Discount Shoes, $12.55.
I don't know. It must have been a connection thing.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Hear that? The sound of adorable little birds in your garden. And if you were here, you'd take...
We skipping the middle segments because we got a load of teams to do.
But you're not here. Because your self-care happens when
Still
you're
got an
riding
hour
your
and a half.
motorcycle protected by...
How many teams we got left?
Pack of normal-sized...
15.
Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Without...
I think so.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots.
13. 14. 14.
Friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top-quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, roasting the 2024 NFL Draft. If you have not seen the Tom Brady roast, I would suggest that you watch it. It's quite hilarious. It'll keep you rolling. Kevin Hart, he's one of those guys that gets a lot of hate. Where do you stand on Kevin Hart as a comedian, as a performer today? No. I'm just talking about like as a guy in the business. You know, he gets a lot of crap for doing crap movies, which I get. But he's still one of the most brilliantly funny human beings. But
stand-up bits of the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm pro Kevin Hart as a comedian.
I really like him in that role, too, in that live role of, hostmaster or toastmaster, whatever the hell they call it, roastmaster. I thought he did a great job all night long. A lot of great comics, and there were some comics up there, like the dude with the mustache, Schultz.
Andrew Schultz. That dude is
that guy
hilarious.
The podcaster that they had going around at one point interviewed the guy that interviewed Dana White. I don't know his name, but he's apparently a podcaster. His name's Tony something. Tony Kills, I think, is the name of his podcast.
Andrew Schultz had a joke
hilarious.
at Dana White that was absolutely hilarious.
The Brazilian joke?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody knows anything about withholding purses from Brazilians, it's Dana White.
It is Dana White.
Oh. Somebody posted his bit. I saw
ones.
his bit in its entirety, and good gracious, that dude is hilarious.
Yes, he hammered it. The Tony guy hammered it, and Nikki absolutely killed it. Nikki Glazer, if she's not at superstar status yet, the spreading of this roast and that little 10-minute bit that she did, that might be it. That might be it to put her on another level. I just felt like it was like a breakthrough moment. I've seen her in just about every roast that she's ever done, and that was the funniest I've ever seen her be. Anyhow, we're roasting the 2024 NFL Draft in honor of all of the festivities on Sunday night. And we roll down to the Los Angeles Rams. You'll never replace a player like Aaron Donald. So we're just going to throw everything at it that we can with our draft capital and see what we can do. And they did a hell of a job with it, in my opinion. Braden Fiske, Jared Verse, Tyler Davis later on.
I forgot Brandon
like
Jackson.
They added some Brandon Jackson, yes, or Brennan Jackson, excuse me.
You talk about a scheme fit? That dude, somebody needs to hug that dude. I mean, he's only got one speed, and it's real strong.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Rams, I didn't notice this live because I was you were at a wedding, and so I was doing it myself, and I didn't really have time to click off the classes. When I sat down and really started zeroing in on the Rams, it blew my mind how many of these guys fit what they do so well. The last pick they had, KT Leviston out of Kansas State, he'll be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
You mark my words, he's going to start on this team. May not be immediately, but either by the end of this year or the beginning of next year, he's going to start, as will Bo Limmer. They do as good of a job as any team in the NFL of just going, hey, this guy fits my team, and I don't really care what you think about him. It doesn't matter. You're not paying him. I am. He needs to play for me, not for you.
Yep.
And the more I looked at it, the more impressed I was by the Rams. And I'll go a step further on LA. I gave them an A-. I was higher than you were. I'm not sure that I wasn't even low on what they did. If that defense can, by the end of the year, be 80% of what the talent on that defense allows, they might be the best team in the NFC. And I know that sounds crazy to say.
It does.
They have the best quarterback, fact or fiction. If Matthew Stafford is healthy and upright, they have the best quarterback in that conference.
Yeah.
I can't find one that, to me, is even really all that debatable. You have the best combination of receivers. You vastly upgraded the offensive line. Oh, and by the way, Kyron Williams ran it down people's throats last year. Offensively, they can hurt your feelings. And you just added a combo of Florida State dudes who they have bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Bad intentions. You call me biased. You call me a homer. That's fine. I don't care. I love what the Rams did, and I love where they're headed.
Yeah, the front three is going to be mean between Kobe Turner and Braden Fiskey and Bobby Brown. The second level's got young studs on it. Byron Young, Ernest Jones, Jared Verse. There's a lot of potential. You're right. You're absolutely right. If they can play up to their potential, you just need it all to come together immediately. And we didn't expect that they were going to be able to pull something together last year. Right?
The only caveat
we were all doubting going into the year.
The only caveat I'm going to give you is that I told you in the pre-draft, I don't like Jared Verse standing up nearly as much as I like him with his hand in the dirt. Now, when it comes to third down, there's a great chance he's going to have his hand in the dirt anyway. But that's just something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yes. Yep. LA Rams, I believe they, and I use this term a lot, and I know you don't like it, but they filled slot really, really well in the draft.
Well, they didn't just fill slot. They stuck to their board.
Mm-hmm.
That is something, especially in day 3, that fans get lost on because it's a guy we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about him because he wouldn't have been on the board for 27 teams. But the more I think about it and the more I think about what Sean McVay does, Jordan Whittington, I have no interest. You know who his closest comp is in terms of RAS all the way down? Puka Nacua.
Wow.
Oh, I've already seen you do this once. Mm-hmm. And I won't be shocked if you do it again. I won't be shocked if 2 years from now we're talking about Jordan Whittington as the legit 3 with the Rams because that's just what they do.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and this is what we do. Talking football here in the Sportsocracy on a Tuesday afternoon in early May. There's nothing really quite like it. We're roasting the 2024 NFL Draft. When we come back from the break, it'll be time to talk about the Miami Dolphins.
This is your extra cast on ESPN Asheville.
An afternoon where we'll see some isolated showers try to push on through, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but really not too excited about any additional rain chances. Although the chance isn't 0, I would keep it very low. A few showers, thunder showers right through this evening. We'll get up to 84 today. Tonight we'll drop most likely down into the low 60s. A few showers, thunderstorms around tomorrow and again on Thursday. And maybe a stronger storm or two, especially to the east. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Fire, flood, wind damage, arguably a homeowner's worst nightmare. For nearly 4 decades, First Restoration Services has been helping people recover from disasters with trust, integrity, speed, and quality. If you have a disaster, call them today, 1-800-537-6151, or online at frs247.com.
Get your mom an insanely clean home from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Introducing Tanzite Stone Tile Flooring, a game changer in the tile industry. Say goodbye to the trade-off between durability and easy installation with Tanzite's revolutionary indoor-outdoor stone tile. Visit Tanzite.com to see how our tile is installed without concrete or mortar. Instead, our innovative rubber gasket system connects the tiles together. Each tile coming pre-assembled, you simply grab one and place it. No expertise needed. At Tanzite.com, you can see how our foam back tiles contour to cover any existing floor while
Amanda brought cookies.
Beautiful and versatile.
Is that a chocolate chip cookie?
No, this is a white chocolate cookie.
On concrete basements or wooden decks. All with
That
the
looks
durability
lovely.
of stone that's
I love white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
yourself and order a sample today at Tanzite.com.
Looks very, very chewy, very doughy. It's the way a cookie's supposed to be.
Yes.
Learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going.
Now, conversely,
got so
I had a pack
lightheaded,
of crackers.
I couldn't.
You know why?
My doctor said I have
because
AFib.
Mr.
So I'm
Can't
about
Touch his
5
toes
times more
can't
likely
bend
to
over
have
to
a
open
stroke.
the oven.
Other symptoms.
Oh.
Heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays.
You got to learn how to move things with your feet.
I
Visit
do a lot.
NoTimeToWait.com.
You need lobster toes like I do.
Cleanliness is next to
Every vape I have has
around
been
the car.
picked up by my hooves at some point in the last couple
Life comes
days.
at you fast, but so
No doubt.
See Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram.
I could just use my opposable toes to open the oven.
NC Auto Detailing does full interior and
Yeah, the only
exterior
problem is that
details
if
with
I
paint
lean back
correction,
that
and
much,
they do
I'll
waxed
end
and
up in the
ceramic
floor.
coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're
you got to use that Muay Thai training, your inner balance, right?
WNC
well, I used my Verizon
Check us out
training to
online
Uber
at
Eats a burger, which should be here in about
ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
25 minutes.
Sells W.
Weird?
Teachers
yeah, we can
so
do
much.
weird.
We're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343
You'll have to give me a second, though, 'cause I gotta pull my story up.
or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and yes, time to get weird. 26 years. That is a long time to wait to fulfill a promise. But the important thing is fulfilling the promise. I firmly believe in if you make somebody a promise, you need to pay off on that promise, even if it takes 26 years to do so. Jeremy, you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No clue.
One of our favorite non-Hall of Fame running backs has achieved something that he promised his grandmother that he would do. Fred Taylor, 48 years old, once promised his grandmother, I am going to graduate from college. And 26 years after he left the University of Florida to join the NFL, he went back to school. He finished his credit hours, and he was able to finish with a sociology degree from the University of Florida, walking across the stage this week, getting his sheepskin. Do they still call them that? I don't know. Anyway, didn't have to do that, obviously. He's made more money than he ever needed, more than any one man ever needs in a lifetime, in my opinion. Making almost $41 million in the NFL in what should be a Pro Football Hall of Fame career. His grandmother died on October the 31st of last year, and he made her a promise on her deathbed that he was going to go back to school and he was going to finish because she reminded him of it. And so he did. So he paid it off. Very emotional scene. Very cool story. Fred Taylor, still one of the most stand-up guys in NFL history, and he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Just like Bill Belichick took the stand at the dais at the roast for Rodney Harrison, saying that the joke of the night is the fact that he's not in the Hall of Fame, I will say that's a similar story for me with Fred Taylor.
It's a great story. Fred Taylor's one of the only Florida Gators that I've ever been able to really, truly stand. And I'm not going to lie to you, when you told me it took 26 years for a Florida Gator to graduate, I figured you were talking about high school. So there's that. I believe that's the average.
Coming.
I believe that's the average time it takes the very old student base. My story comes from Utah. Family, Galena, Texas. Or excuse me, Galena, Texas. Galena is the animal's name in this story. Couple in Utah, they drop ship things. Well, apparently they had a shipment of boots. They were sending some steel-tipped work boots to California. Well, when you drop ship things, you load them in the box. You have to tape up the box. You have to put the label on it and then get Mr. Amazon to come pick it up. Yeah. Well, apparently they took their sweet time in the taping of the box because their boots came with an unwanted passenger, their cat, Galena.
Oh, no.
The cat disappeared. The boots, for whatever reason, did not arrive in California for 7 days. And when whoever received the box opened it, they got what I could only assume to be a very pissed off surprise. because that kitty cat had been in that box for 6 days.
So it did survive the trip.
It did survive the trip. It is back home, and it is it's totally fine. I cannot imagine that if I had ordered some boots and I was opening the box and then I see feral Satan coming out of the box at me, I don't care how comfortable those boots are, I'm going to need a refund of some kind.
God, those boots smelled too.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt.
So bad.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the cat hadn't had food or water, so, you know, the ablutions were probably kept to a minimum. But I'm just thinking, how scratched are these boots? That old kitty meow here's been in this box for 7 days trying to get out.
I'm just trying to figure out how it went through the possession of all of the people at Amazon, and it never made a noise. It never shifted weird. Like, okay, so I have had cats in the past. Cats like boxes, right? Cat climbs into a box. You ever pick up a box with a cat in it? It's very hard to maintain box with cat in it because he moves. It'll shift around. It'll fall out of your hands. Did the cat never make a noise in the whole process of shipping?
Well, I'm going to assume old Moo Moo here was probably didn't weigh nearly as much as the boots did because there were 5 pairs of boots in this box.
Okay. Well, okay, so it was
probably shifted the weight.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The
Okay.
crazy part of this is the
Seems
cat
crazy.
made it all the way to a stray shelter. That's how they figured out that the cat belonged to these people, because they scanned its microchip and figured out it belonged in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I just really wish we had a live opening of that box for the that came out of that box. That thing would look like Rodney Harrison coming out of that box. I am here to chew bubblegum and mess stuff up, and I am all out of bubblegum.
All out of bubble gum. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. The Miami Dolphins fully embracing the
Ricky
nasty,
Bobby
badass speed.
Yeah, they live by the
rule.
Ricky Bobby philosophy. I want to go fast. Are you any good? Fast.
Got Tyreek Hill, got Jalen Waddle burning on the outside. Now we got you got David Achane, one of the fastest guys in the league, back there running the ball. Now you've added Jalen Wright, the fastest running back in this class, to it. And then on the defensive side, you've added pass rushers, which you desperately needed depth at.
Well, my only fear is that you're going to have to play Chop Robinson right away. And I don't know that he's ever going to hold up against the run. Miami appears to me. All right, I'm going to go on a slight tangent here. You'll have to rein me in because we still have a lot of teams to go. You remember when the Warriors started out with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and it was all we do is shoot threes.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit of time before that really worked, because you have to hit threes at a reasonably high clip to not make that horribly inefficient. I'm seeing a similarity between the Dolphins of, I get what you're doing. You're looking at this going, no team in the NFL has enough speed to keep up with us. And that is all well and good. There is one ginormous problem. You're going to have to go through Kansas City, Buffalo, New York, Baltimore, et cetera, in January. You know what slows down speed? Cold. Cold is a big problem. I don't see any reason that Miami won't come out hot when it's hot. And the colder it gets, the colder they'll get. There's a reason no team does this. There is a reason that you do not see anybody do this. Because you have a bunch of receivers and a bunch of talent. They're all really small, and they're all really fast. When I slow you down on harder terrain in January, guess what's going to happen? The same thing that happened to you in Kansas City. I get it. You're steering into a solution here. I just don't see a path that's going to win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you find Miami to be a threat to win a Super Bowl at all?
No.
Vegas has them 12th. And I tend to agree with them.
And yeah, I was going to say I don't disagree with that. That's about where they belong. There's year in, year out, there's 8 or fewer contenders to start a season, and within 4 weeks we trim 2 of those off. We get into, the first quarter poll of the season, we got 6 real contenders.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that seems to be the path. Miami never breaks into that group.
I can't get them into the top 10 because defensively, and look, I love Anthony Weaver. I just don't see a path. You don't have the horses. You're hurt. You added Chop Robinson to give yourself a third pass rusher. I don't think Chubb or Jalen Phillips are going to be ready for the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the beginning of the year, you're going to outscore people because that's what you do. And then exactly what I just said takes hold. I have no problem with anything they did. So it's all fine. I just don't know that it's a formula for high-end winning.
Okay. Chop Robinson, Mo Kamara is another one that we haven't mentioned that was, at least in this breakdown of the Miami Dolphins. We loved him at the Combine. To me, that was a great pick in the 5th round. Patrick Paul in the 2nd round was another great pick, adding to the offensive line. As you said, I get what you're doing. I just don't know that you're ready to contend right away. You're going to scare some people, but the conference as a whole, you're no threat to the top teams. The Minnesota Vikings. Can't wait to hear what you feel about this one.
Boo.
The Minnesota Vikings have started. They've started the new era. Say goodbye to Kirk Cousins and hello J.J. McCarthy. Trading up to 10 to get him in the 1st round, and then they had another pick at 17, and they got Dallas Turner. Neither of those picks really sent you, did they?
No. The Minnesota Vikings could have drafted my ex-wives, and I don't think I would have disliked this class any more than I do. You overdrafted a quarterback that you had really no competition for. I'll never understand why they felt the urge to trade up. I don't get that in any way. I get you only gave up a 4 and a 5. I understand that. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what it is.
Somebody else was moving up. They got sold. Somebody else was talking. Joe Douglas told them that, hey, Las Vegas just called.
Then Joe Douglas is the greatest GM in the history of football. Because if I knew that the Raiders only wanted Michael Penix, I would greatly expect Kwesi Adofo-Mensah to know that as well.
I don't know. It's the only thing it's the only thing that makes sense to trade up one spot when the Jets weren't taking your quarterback. You were afraid they were doing a deal with one of the teams behind you.
Here's my question about Minnesota. How are you going to beat teams? Give me the game script where Minnesota wins games.
I can't really put my finger on it other than Justin Jefferson has 300 yards in a game.
That's my
Sam
point.
Darnold or J.J. McCarthy get real hot, and between Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson, you're able to get enough big plays to outscore somebody, 32-28.
Well, I mean, that assumes that you could hold an NFL team to 28 points, which I'm not sure you can. Because your defense is bad. Bad. You invested all this money, and I swear to God, I don't think they are 1 point a game better than they were last year.
Really?
You put all that money into this. You're playing Jonathan Grenard out of position. You lost Danielle Hunter, who's better than any player you signed. Somehow you managed to spend all this money and never add a corner, which was the biggest area of concern. It's bad. It is bad. If I was a Minnesota fan, I would be irate.
Didn't like anything they did in the draft.
Well, I mean, you traded up for 2 guys that Dallas Turner's fine. He's a situational pass rusher. That's it. I don't think he's special. And now your future is locked into J.J. McCarthy, who probably should not play a game for 2 solid years, but he's gonna.
Yeah. And when I look at the players drafted around that pick,
gives you the angina, doesn't it?
Mitchell. You really could have used Quinion Mitchell,
No doubt. No doubt.
And you passed on that for Dallas Turner.
Here's my question. I'm going to do this rapid fire. I want you to tell me the teams that this Viking team is going to beat. Okay? They play 9 games at home next year. Bears, Packers, Texans, 49ers, Jets, Falcons, Colts, Lions, Cardinals.
Good night.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not done yet either.
Maybe Falcons or Cardinals. You get one of those.
I don't see a path.
Hurt.
Kirk Cousins will come in there and beat. He will foghorn leghorn the Minnesota Vikings just to prove a point. And I would say that's the second most winnable game on that schedule. So let's just say somehow by an act of God you go 2-7 at home. Here's who you play on the road: Bears, Lions, Packers, Rams, Seahawks, Jaguars, Titans, Giants.
Good night.
If this team wins 5 games, Kevin O'Connell should be the coach of the year.
Yep. Give me the under. What's the number? I have to know. I know we've talked about it before. I don't remember what it is. If it's anything greater than 5.5, it's easy money.
6.5.
Under. Let's go.
6.5, and you're actually catching plus 125. You should go do that right now.
I'm about to write that one down. Minnesota under 6.5. That's a no doubter.
I'm not sure they could have. I'm not sure they could have won 7 games with Kirk Cousins playing quarterback. Prime Kirk with no Achilles issue.
Better. Yeah, I'd have felt better about it, but you're right. You can't feel great.
That schedule is evil.
It is. It is absolutely evil.
And that's one I genuinely don't care what order it comes in. It does not matter to me.
Wow. I didn't realize the schedule was that tough for them coming up next year.
It is gross.
It is absolutely gross.
When I did my mock draft, I'll give you one guess who had the number 1 pick.
The Minnesota Vikings.
It was Minnesota 1, Denver 2.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The New England Patriots are next up on the breakdown here. Again, don't really want to jump into too much with this. Did have a comment earlier about the New England Patriots, though, saying that we really wanted to have Jaden Daniels on this team, and that having Drake Maye is that much of a downer. To me, that's hard to believe, that you would be that much higher on Jaden than you would on Drake. That it would be a disappointment to have him on your team. Look, I can't get there. Do you share that same sentiment?
No.
Okay.
This is where I would go, and I don't know who said it. You're looking at the chat.
I saw it a long time ago.
So this is where I would go talking about New England. You completely changed the draft based on the fact that you actually took Drake Maye. Mm-hmm. Because I personally know of 4 teams that were ready to trade up for Drake Maye if he fell to 4. That's the reason Arizona took so long on the clock. Because they were getting offers. It just wasn't what they had been told it was going to be. It wasn't 2 1s this year and a 1 next year, because Minnesota never offered that. Mm-hmm. Because everybody called the bluff. Minnesota didn't offer that because there was no Drake Maye. Had there been a Drake Maye, then you would have had a deal. And I think that should tell you something, that there are a handful of front offices that were ready to mortgage the future for Drake Maye. Now, where I think New England kind of got burned is they wanted Xavier Leggett. That's why Carolina jumped, is because apparently New England thought Xavier Leggett was right behind Roma Dunze.
Yep.
they didn't make the move. They panicked. They took Jalen Polk, who, according to reports, they had in the top 8, I think, receivers. There's a big difference in those two.
No.
And now
they have – go ahead.
I just look at New England, and what is it that I feel like Drake Maye can hang his hat on? Because that was a problem for Drake, trying to do too much. You're a Carolina fan. You can definitively say – you go back and watch that NC State tape, and you're going to want to wash your eyes out with an iWatch station.
Yeah, it would. Consistency was an issue, but did they do enough to make it matter? Did they do enough to give him weapons to be successful? We'll continue the discussion up next here on ESPN Asheville.
The Winged Wonderland Food Fest is going down.
Clear. Thank you.
At the Devil's Foot Beverage, The Mule, this is every wing lover's paradise. With over 10 chefs showcasing their most delectable wing creations, you and the family get to enjoy games and also entertainment, music, and refreshing beverages served up by Devil's Foot Beverage. So get your tickets today online, SheaBrownEvents.com, all part of the Asheville Food Series brought to you by Shea & Company. Again, tickets online, SheaBrownEvents.com.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Shinecup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
When the flowers come into bloom, it is like a field of dreams. Hi, I'm Belinda Smith. My husband Russ and I own Briar Hill Farm in Pickens, South Carolina. Ingles has really brought awareness to locally grown flowers. And they've made it convenient for customers to be able to purchase local flowers, and customers realize the advantage of local flowers being fresher and lasting longer.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
An afternoon where we'll see some isolated showers try to push on through, maybe a thunderstorm or 2, but really not too excited about any additional rain chances. Although the chance isn't 0, I would keep it very low. A few showers, thunder showers right through this evening. We'll get up to 84 today. Tonight we'll drop most likely down into the low 60s. A few showers, thunderstorms around tomorrow and again on Thursday. And maybe a stronger storm or 2, especially to the east. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
Look at all the complaints that our competitors have on their BBB ratings. GimmeTheVin.com is a 5-star rated company. We do what we say we're going to do. It's that easy.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Oh, this North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club espresso is strong.
So easy you can do it.
Do it on the coffee. And with new scratch-offs out, well...
Hey guys, I'm a new winner. My name's Steve. What's your name? I really love this coffee. Wow, this place is great. Glad I grabbed a new scratch-off. Okay, nice to meet you. Gonna get a massage. Ooh, I think I need to relax.
Told you.
This month's tickets pack $135 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.41 to 4.25. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the England Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK,
Here we go, cute call.
WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the England studio.
You're back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We're heard everywhere, live or on demand, on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. We're roasting the 2024 NFL draft slowly but surely. Working our way through the teams here. Me live back here in the Ingalls studio. Mullet, he is live from Mullet Manor.
Live from Mullet Manor. Tradition unlike any other.
We left off with the New England Patriots at the end of the last hour. Drake Maye was the number 3 pick of the draft, which was highly predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, how did they do? Did they get was Jalen Polk, and there's a lot of buzz about Javon Baker. Are they the core of the future for the New England Patriots?
I liked Jalen Polk. I don't like him as a 1. I think they're miscast. I just look at New England as you have a whole slew of 3s. And when you have a young quarterback like this, I need somebody I can count on. And I don't think you have one of those. You have a bunch of dudes that a lot of which play out of the slot, and you've got a line that I don't trust. So it's hard for me to have a lot of love for what New England did. And I'll be honest with you, Drake Maye shouldn't play a down this year. You put him behind that line where you're playing a right tackle on the left side. You've got a couple really unproven interior guys. Yeah, your defense is good. And Drake Maye is going to put you in a position to fail, because he will throw a ton of interceptions if he plays a lot this year.
I agree with that.
I hated this landing spot for him.
His first year is going to be very difficult if he plays a lot. And here's the problem. He's the number 3 pick, and I think he will play a lot. Jacoby Brissett will start the year. I feel pretty certain in that, but it's not going to take long. It's not going to take long for you to go, okay, well, we're not going to win anything this way. How long do you wait is the question. Does he make it 6 weeks? Does he make it 8 weeks? At some point, this gets turned over to Drake, and you got to hope that it's not too early. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Are you still there? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
All right.
I have nothing else to say about New England. It's
okay.
This team's not good. It was a bad landing spot, and it's not going to go well.
Yep. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. It's a draft that you liked a little bit better, except for they do get the well, they've been doing this, it feels like they've done this a few times in recent years, where they took a quarterback that you really don't have any plans on playing.
Ian Book. You remember that?
Exactly.
Wasn't that fun?
Exactly. And they got Spencer Rattler.
They crushed the first 2 picks.
Yes.
New Orleans is another team that I look up and down the roster. And if you can just get competent quarterback play out of Derek Carr, which, yes, I do understand that is a tall ask after what you saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
This team should be really good. But it falls back on Dennis Allen. Do I think he will pay this off? Not really. He should, because you have everything you could ever want. You've got pass rushers. You've got, I think a defense is going to be really good. But it comes back to, can you score? Can Derek Carr be Raider Derek Carr? I think Raider Derek Carr wins this division. But I said that last year.
I would agree with that. I look at this team and I go, yeah, you could probably, I don't know. You've tried to upgrade, like you spent a lot of capital on this offensive line. You get Trevor Penning's first-round draft pick. Now you got Talisi Fuaga. I don't know what else you could have added in the draft to the offensive line. I would have liked to have seen you get another weapon. Bub Means in the 5th round is not really making me feel warm and fuzzy.
I like Bub Means a lot more, apparently, than anybody else does.
Maybe. But Cedric Wilson's your 3? Or A.T. Perry's
I would say
your 3?
A.T. Perry's your 3.
Great.
A.T. Perry's your 3 should make you feel just fine. With him, Olave, and Rashid Shaheed, I'm good.
Is Shaheed a legit 2, though?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the weapons are fine. I would have liked another one.
I just feel like you got that. You got that where your number 1 is really high on my list, and then the rest of it just doesn't do much for me.
I have no problems with the Saints roster. I think that you have everything you need to succeed. And if you don't succeed, hopefully this is enough for you to just tell Dennis Allen, hey, you know what? Put out the naked pictures of that thing I did at Petting Zoo. I don't care. Because that's the only reason you're still employed.
You go just pound sand. Just get out of here.
You can
at some point.
You know what? Entire ownership structure, front office structure of the Saints. You can use my mayoral campaign. The slogan. Yeah, I probably did that. It's not enough for you to keep Dennis Allen around.
Fair enough. Terrible team next. We're going to New York. The NFC New York team, the Giants. Malik Neighbors at 6 made sense to me. You don't. I mean, you got a great playmaker. You may not have the quarterback to get him the ball, but there again, you didn't force the situation here, and go after a Michael Penix or a J.J. McCarthy. Or I feel like this was the right path. You get the receiver, and then we'll take our chances on a quarterback later to replace Daniel Jones. I like the secondary picks that they made.
With Nubin and
Tyler
Andrew
Nubin
Phillips.
and Andrew Phillips. Yeah. I don't see how you can be too upset with what they did. They didn't have great amounts of capital like the Commanders did or the Cardinals did to work with. You had your own picks and you made it.
This feels like this Giants team feels like playing poker. They've gone all in, and they have a 2 and a 9 in their hand. I'm not telling you it can't work. You're just going to have to get real, real lucky.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're another team. I don't see what you hang your hat on. All right, so you've invested all this in the weapons. You have legitimately the worst running back room I've ever seen. That is the worst group of running backs I've ever seen, and it's really not all that close. Tyrone Tracy will be the starter of the New York Giants by week 6.
Mm-hmm.
You want a deep shot in your fantasy leagues? Tyrone Tracy's the one. Because he's going to catch a lot of passes.
Singletary.
I liked him in Houston. There's a big difference there. There's a big difference in the running lanes that are afforded watching C.J. Stroud throw bombs and watching Daniel Jones run around like a chicken with his head cut off. The Giants picked 3 for me in the upcoming 2025 mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are comfortably the 3 worst teams in the NFL. The New York Giants, the Denver Broncos, the Minnesota Vikings.
I would tend to agree with that.
I don't even know who could break into that. Do you have another team that you look at and go, they could threaten that? Because I don't.
I don't.
I mean, New England's flirting with it. It's blowing kisses to it at the bar, but I don't think you're going to be worse than them.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I just don't see how this is going to be successful, and when I say successful, I mean work out in the favor of Brian Daboll. I don't see how he survives. If they go 4-13 or 5-12, there's no way he survives. He's fired. They move on from Daniel Jones, and then they just start over. And you find yourself in this continuous cycle like you've been in year after year after year. That first year went so well that we got the easy schedule. We played tough, played really tough on the defensive side of the ball. We're able to sneak into the playoffs and thought, hey, we got something to work on. And the next year, the schedule got tougher. And you were terrible. Daniel Jones gets hurt. Nothing went in your favor. Now you've got year what is the year 2 of this extension?
The final year.
The final year.
This is like a sequel of a horrific movie. I don't know why you made a second one, but now that we're here, I'm not going to watch it either, and it's going to bomb as well.
Yes. It's not going to do well at all. The New York Giants, not a good team as far as the draft goes, though. I mean, meh.
But have no fear, New York. There is a team that is here to restore your faith in good football.
And it is the New York Football Jets.
I know that this has the makings of Charlie Brown with the football. Lucy pulls it up at the last minute, and I wind up on my keister.
This is part
500. Yes, this is part 500, you jackal. Here's my question. Can you name me the deficiency on this Jets team? Like, what do you not do well? I mean, I get it. I'm too close to it. I'm a lifelong Jet fan. I just look up and down this roster going, this team is evil if Aaron Rodgers can stay on 2 hooves.
Well, I mean, I don't want to trigger you too much, but we would call this an Achilles heel. And hopefully
that's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
I know.
If I was in the same room with you, I'd have punched you right in your jejunum right there, and I don't even know where that part is.
The Achilles heel of this team is the jerseys that they wear. I know you hate it. You hate that phrase, and I'm not going to say it. But we said it several times last year, and it pretty much, I mean, the cosmic tumblers clicked into place and went, yep.
Well, you had a quarterback blow his Achilles out 4 plays in. Name me the team in the NFL that can survive that.
No doubt.
Oh, by the way,
no doubt.
Can I just tell you how stupid that phrase is? Hey, look at the 8 most likely teams to win the Super Bowl. Do you realize that one of them's the Detroit freaking Lions?
Yeah.
You get that, right? Because they're the Jets on steroids. Yeah, all that Jets gonna jet crap. It works until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't.
And I'm not telling you that it won't happen again. You're counting on a 40-year-old quarterback. I can't tell you that. Here's what I'm saying. I don't care if this team goes 0-17. Joe Douglas is the GM of this team for the foreseeable future. Because the transformation in this roster in 3 years is unlike anything I have ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That defense went from awful, genuinely impossible to watch. They're better than they were last year. That defense is better than they were last year. And everybody is a year further along.
You added Hassan Reddick. Javon Kinlaw comes in. Who else did you add on defense? That was it?
Oh, I mean, Leaky Photo and a bunch of...
Yeah, you got some depth pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying as far as the starters are concerned.
Well, you also spent more money in the undrafted free agent market than practically any team. So you will probably see Eric Watts is almost invariably going to make this team because they gave him a bag. Leonard Taylor probably makes this team. I look at the Jets and go, I don't really see. I don't see that weak link like I did last year because the tackles made me nervous. They don't make me nervous anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got Morgan Moses, you got Tyron Smith, and oh, by the way, if you just so happen to need a guy, Olaf Ashana, who you just took at 10.
Mm-hmm. There is no great weakness for the team other than what's already been called into question in the past few years, which is the coaching. This is the moment. This is the moment that it proves whether or not Rob Saleh is a good coach in this league, right? This is the last chance for Nathaniel Hackett to prove that he is a good coach in this league.
That's
Even
the
as a
one
good
that bothers me. Nathaniel Hackett still bothers me. But there is a big difference between 12th year Tyrod Taylor, 100th year Aaron Rodgers, and 3rd year Zach Wilson. What a veteran quarterback can do on the field it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wind up having to play Jordan Travis, okay, I get it because now you're in the same boat you were last year. But so long as you can keep the quarterback upright, this is going to be a mean team.
Yes.
And that's a credit to Joe Douglas. It was a mean team last year. They hurt more quarterbacks than any team in the NFL.
Offensively. We should make that caveat. Yes, the defense was mean and they were awesome and they did everything in their power to win games. You couldn't score to save your life.
No, and that's if you really look at how they built this team out with Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, with the 2 third-day picks, they're going to run the ball a lot. And Breece Hall is going to get a ridiculous workload. If you're looking for a guy to take in the first round of fantasy football drafts, Breece Hall's a pretty good choice.
Hopefully this is the year for the New York Jets. And hopefully, your best hope is let's just keep it together. Let's keep everybody healthy. Let's win some damn games, and let's see how good this team can be when it comes to the end. Because we do have some very important positions where we are the oldest team in the league. And that is a major problem. So we'll see. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Philadelphia Eagles coming up next, roasting the 2024 NFL Draft.
Even if you take excellent care of your home, you still need to see a dentist regularly. And at Asheville Smiles, they have all the latest and greatest technology, which is so important because they are able to catch issues quicker and diagnose more accurately. Many dental problems, they don't even become visible or cause pain until they are in more advanced stages. So when you are thinking about 2024, you need to make sure that you think about your overall health and make that dental appointment. World-class dental care with a hometown feel. It's AshevilleSmiles.com.
Oh, this North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club espresso is strong.
Pace yourself. New winners tend to overdo it on the coffee. new scratch-offs out. Well,
Hey guys, I'm a new winner. My name's Steve. What's your name? I really love this coffee. Wow, this place is great. Glad I grabbed a new scratch off. Okay, nice to meet you. Gonna get a massage. Ooh, I think I need to relax.
told you.
This month's tickets pack $135 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.41 to 4.25. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
The Biltmore Kiwanis Classic races are back. Sunday, May 19th. It's a 15K and a 5K at the beautiful Biltmore Estate. Participants will enjoy a beautiful run on the grounds of the estate, plus a race t-shirt, finisher medal, entry to the estate for the morning, commemorative race bib, and a whole lot of fun. All proceeds of the race benefit the Kiwanis Club of Asheville. For more information and to get signed up, go to BiltmoreKiwanisClassic.com. BiltmoreKiwanisClassic.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agent.
And there's number 4.
This is next to godliness. Look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 45 Ablutions. 100. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingalls, we're proud to work with hundreds of local farms and businesses in the communities we call home. Not only does it ensure that you get top quality, fresh items for your family table, it's a way for us to support the amazing individuals who pour their heart and soul into delivering the very best they can do. Quality, freshness, community, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we're roasting the 2024 NFL Draft. It may not be as funny as, 10 minutes of Nikki Glazer, but we do our best. Here in the Sportsocracy, live from the Ingalls studio, Jeremy Greene, live from Mullet Manor. And, well, Jeremy, the Philadelphia Eagles are next up in our little experiment here. And I see no problems. I see no problems with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not jumping off the Jalen Hurts bandwagon. And I think this team is just as nasty as they were 2 years ago. The problem is always going to come back to what dumb moves your coach is going to make.
Well, that's where it always comes back to for me, is that I still don't believe in Nick Sirianni. It is kind of infuriating to watch Howie Roseman just do this absolute masterclass.
Mm-hmm. Painting the beautiful picture. And here you go. Here's a team ready to win a championship.
Now, how are you going to duty it? I mean, Philadelphia, top to bottom.
Well,
that
last year,
that is as good of a roster as you will ever see. I mean, name me the whole. Because I don't see it.
No. You got an outstanding offensive line. The middle of the line, obviously, without Jason Kelce. You got Cam Jurgens taking over, Landon Dickerson. One of them will be taking the snaps at center. And I think you're going to just find a way to move through that. The wide receivers are really good. You got Saquon Barkley. On the defensive side, sure, you might have lost a piece or two, but we've got all of these young studs that we've invested draft capital in. We just got the guy in the NFL with the highest pass rush win rate for the last, 2 years, and Bryce Huff. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's back. Young guys are coming into their own. We added Devin White. I feel like so many things are lining up for this team that if you don't get it done, it's time to start talking about the leadership and maybe making a change there.
Look, if I will go a step further on Sirianni, I think he was closer to getting axed this offseason than people would ever want to talk about. I don't just think he has to win 10 games or win the division, or I think he actually has to not just advance in the playoffs. If they wind up anywhere short of the NFC Championship game, I don't see him coming back.
I agree with that.
Because I'm pretty
Especially
sure
if it ends in embarrassing fashion like this past year.
Well, I'm pretty sure Elmer Fudd could coach this team to a division championship and a win in the playoffs. Now, I'm not sure that Nick Sirianni is smarter than Elmer Fudd, so that is a thing to chalk up.
They get all the marks for me. And in the draft, Howie Roseman does it again, as he always does. Another team that tends to draft pretty well, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier. I mean, is that enough to reimagine that offensive line to make you more comfortable now?
I am certainly more comfortable than I was. I'm still a little confused as to who they're going to play on the left side, because it feels like they've addressed everything but that. But maybe they think Troy Fautanu is a left tackle. We haven't seen preliminary depth charts, but I've seen some projection that that's where he's going to end up.
There are a lot of fan pages and blogs and insiders and all those. I think that seems to be the common thought, is that that's what they're going to do. They'll slot Fautanu in at tackle and see how it goes.
Have him on the left, Broderick Jones on the right, McCormick, like Daniels, and Suamalo.
Frazier.
I said a name wrong there.
Suamalo.
Suamalo, Daniels, and Frazier, with McCormick as the first interior backup.
It's the way this could go. And I know you don't like Dan Moore, but if Fautanu doesn't work at tackle, you can go back to Dan and
don't go back to Dan Moore.
Fautanu in, and then maybe we'll have to go with a left tackle next year at the draft again.
For the love of God, go to anybody but Dan Moore. I don't care if you go to Dan Rooney. I don't care if you go to Daniel Snyder. I don't care. Just please, God, do not put Dan Moore back on the left side of this line.
And the question is, are they going to be any better than they were last year? And I'm not sure they are.
Well, okay, so explain that to me.
I mean,
how are they not going to be better? Is the defense better?
Is it?
If it's healthy, it is. You got Keanu Benton, who's developed a year. You got a full year of T.J. Watt, in theory. Now you got Patrick Queen in the middle. You added Dante Jackson on the outside, of which, frankly, I don't know that he's an improvement, but I don't think he's a regression.
Right.
And then offensively, you got a way better offensive line, so you should be able to run the ball better. And, frankly, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is an improvement over Kenny Pickett. Now, that's not saying
Maybe
much.
so. No. You won 10 games last year, and I'm just not sure that this is a 12-win team.
This is a run-first team. That's what it's going to be. That's the reason I have a weird feeling that Justin Fields is going to win this job. I've had that weird feeling for quite some time.
Right.
I also think it's funny that I think it was Jaylen Warren came out and said that it had been floated that he returned kicks.
Yes.
Like that's bold strategy. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Well, he's an amazing athlete. We got to get the ball in his hands any way we can.
When your buddy looks at you and says, I met this girl at the strip club. Her name is Cinnamon Sugar, and I'm going to give her my grandmother's ring and move her into my house. You should not do that, okay? That's a stupid idea. Don't do that. That's how I feel about Justin Fields returning kicks.
Okay. You throw in the fact that they got Roman Wilson, another target in the draft, Peyton Wilson, as well as the steal of the third round, as long as he's healthy. I feel like there were a couple of those usual Pittsburgh Steeler benchmark players that they picked up in this draft that if you're not familiar with them yet, you're going to be real soon. Again, I just don't know that it translates to more than 10 wins. Maybe it does, but 11.
I can't tell you they're going to win more games. That's not what you asked me. What you asked me was, is this team going to be better than they were last year? You can win more games and be worse than you were the year before, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. This team is certainly better than they were last year.
But just can't be certain that the finishing record will be
that part. I don't know.
That was what I was looking at going, I don't know that you can be better. I don't know that you can.
Then again, did we think there was a snowball's chance in Atlanta they were going to make the playoffs last year?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Okay. So, I mean, doubt this team at your own peril.
I'm done counting them out, but 10 is about where I think you continue to live. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Take a break. When we continue, we got like 5 more teams to roll through here in roasting the 2024 NFL Draft.
This is your Exergen on ESPN Asheville.
An afternoon where we'll see some isolated showers try to push on through, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but really not too excited about any additional rain chances. Although the chance isn't 0, I would keep it very low. A few showers, thunder showers right through this evening. We'll get up to 84 today. Tonight we'll drop most likely down into the low 60s. A few showers, thunderstorms around tomorrow. And
I want a job like weatherman.
Maybe a stronger storm or two, especially to the east.
It's not going to rain unless it does.
This report
and I'm not
is
saying
sponsored
it won't.
by UPM Raflatac.
Dreaming
of a career with solid benefits and a secure future? Join the UPM Raflatac team. Production.
Just take a jacket.
Available in Mills River and Fletcher. Apply today at rafjob.com. That's RAFJOB.
Days a day, you might want to take a jacket.
It's either going to be sunny, cloudy,
is going
or
down
rainy.
May 18th at the Devil's Foot Beverage.
I feel very sure it's not going to snow.
Wing lovers paradise with over 10
so there's
chefs showcasing their most delectable wing creations. You and the family get to enjoy games and also entertainment, music, and refreshing beverages served up by Devil's Foot Beverage. So get your tickets today online, SheaBrownEvents.com, all part of the Asheville Food Series brought to you by Shea & Company. Again, tickets online, SheaBrownEvents.com.
I'm
skipping it.
I learned about atrial fibrillation
with 5 teams left.
Come and go, shortness of breath.
I feel like we should.
I'm ready either way.
Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't.
All right, we'll skip it.
So I'm
also
about 5 times more likely to have a
pizza.
stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit No Time to Wait.
Yeah, we got pizza from Acropolis last night.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
WW.
Their white pie is awesome.
With the key races and the stories behind the big issues.
Still have like 8 pieces of that left to eat when I get home.
On News Radio
I'm
570
eating the remnants
WWNC.
of the Little Caesars from the festivities in my house over the
would
weekend.
like to welcome you to living spaces by working with
tried and true.
Oh yeah,
the beauty of our area.
Little Caesars is the it's the 6th. That's a lot of fun
in your community, offering products that will allow you to create a comfortable way to enjoy your outdoor space.
She's not the best looking girl at the bar, but she likes sports and she laughs at your jokes.
Get you out of doors.
So
and
it's just
enjoy
it
your
works.
own backyard. Airvent Exteriors encourages you to support local companies.
It feels good while you're doing it, and then maybe later you're going to be a little uncomfortable.
100%.
The flowers come into bloom. It is
Usually while you're standing outside the Department of Health
Hi, I'm Belinda
and Human
Smith.
Services.
My husband from Pickens, South Carolina. Ingles has really brought awareness to locally grown flowers. And they've made it convenient for customers to be able to purchase local flowers, and customers realize the advantage of local flowers being fresher and lasting longer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp
I've just
Realty.
never
Check
eaten a
us out
piece of Little
online
Caesars
at
pizza and then just gone,
ClarissaSellsWNC.com.
I shouldn't have done that.
Download
I don't know why
our
I
free
did
app
that.
on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville.
Are you sure?
Able to connect with our team.
I'm
and
positive.
see all
I always
the
have a
available
smile on
homes
my
for sale
face
in our
and a song
area.
in my
For
heart.
more
Now, that might be the tachycardia.
I feel like
but
after the
774.
I feel like after the 13th piece of Little Caesars pizza was you did that. You went, oh, okay, I shouldn't have done that.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville roasting the 2024 NFL Draft.
Tank, I have
We were there live.
I have a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
So obviously, I'm doing the show from Mullet Manor.
Mm-hmm.
I had some leftover Little Caesars in my refrigerator, which I just inhaled in the break. Have you had the Crazy Puff?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude. I want you to imagine what it would be like eating a greasy pillow that was it was baked with the tears of the gods, and it was put in the oven by unicorns and happiness. I don't know what's in it. I'll tell you this, when you bite into it, it almost feels like you're going to get pizza sauce in your mouth, and then you don't, which is a little bizarre. But if you just dunk it in the pizza sauce, it takes that away. A1 since day one.
So wait, it's got pizza sauce inside the
No,
pillow?
it's like a quiche. It's like a pizza quiche or a piche, if you will.
Uh-huh.
It's got pepperoni in it, enough cheese on top of it to constipate a small family of 4. And you bite into it, and it's just light happiness. I don't even know I don't know where that idea even came from. Like, did somebody at Little Caesars just go, you know what we need? We need a breadier version of a cheese stick for fattises like that mulleted guy on ESPN Radio. Because I feel like he'd eat 10 of these. I did. I saw me do it. And then I did it again.
Yeah. They were specifically thinking of you.
No doubt.
When they did it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I feel like I am the target audience of Little Caesars. A man with a mullet, a backwards hat, and a beard that looks a little unkempt. And I'm okay with that. I know what I am.
Yes.
And I love that
I mean,
pander to me.
I haven't had these before, but my wife makes something similar for parties, and she calls them white trash puff balls. And, yeah.
You know, it's funny. That's what my family calls me.
The white trash puff ball. I love it. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with that. We're gonna make that stick.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's get back into roasting the draft here. We'll have to try out the what do they call them?
Crazy puff. The crazy poof.
Crazy puffs. Mm-hmm.
So good. Yeah. I have to give credit to Jeremy Rector on that one, because he's the one that told me you must try this, or you are not a Caesars aficionado, as I know you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so now there is nothing on the Little Caesars menu that I haven't eaten at least 3 times. That's where we need to be.
Yes. Roasting the 2024 NFL Draft. Just a few teams left to get to here for the remainder of the hour. The San Francisco 49ers.
They're going 3-14. I hate this team. I hate everything they do. I hate their stupid face, and I need them to do something about it.
Really?
All right. Riddle me this there, Edward Nigma. What exactly has San Francisco done in the last 4 months that you look at and go, yeah, that was good. I'm glad you did that. I'll wait.
I mean, they haven't really added anything.
No, they've lost a lot.
Like, What is the biggest loss?
Oh, I don't know. The fact you went from Eric Armstead to Malik Collins.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like leaving your wife for a blow-up doll you found on the side of the road. Like, I don't see it, but, I mean, you know what? Live your truth, bro.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't like anything that this team has done.
Losing Eric Armstead doesn't make me go, oh, this team sucks now.
For a team that's defense is predicated on the ability to get home with 4, it should. You went from Chase Young to Leonard Floyd. That's a huge regression. Huge regression. And that was with whatever it was you got out of Chase Young. Your rotational end is Yetur Gross Matos. I don't see how anybody looks at this 53-man roster and goes, yeah, that's as good as it was a year ago. That's awesome. That's like taking Ruth Chris steaks. And that's the spread that you put out. And then as you keep replacing them, you went to the Dollar General and got some potted meat and chucked her out there on the plate and went, same thing. Grill marks, football players, gold and red. We're fine. Made a spam reference. I'm proud of me.
Good for you.
Honestly, be honest with yourself. Right now, San Francisco 49ers, how many teams in the NFC do you like better than them?
I'll go 3.
Philadelphia Eagles,
Off the top
for
of my head.
sure.
Yes.
Detroit Lions, for sure.
Yes.
Los Angeles Rams, I'm right there. I'm right
I don't think
there.
I'm there. Actually,
Chicago Bears, I'm close. Because you know what? Every one of those teams I just said, they all have a better quarterback than you do. Every single one of them has a better quarterback than you do. And so now the days of covering for Whittle Block Purdy with that defense, that's over. I mean, I hate to be like Bert Kreischer's teacher here, but this ish is over. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
You just want to see you just want to see it proven correct that he's not the quarterback. He's not the MVP candidate people made him out to be last year.
He is certainly not an MVP candidate. I look at this team and go, you have gotten expensive, and you're about to live out the exact thing that I have said for 4 solid years. If you're going to be this top heavy, you better draft well, because if you don't, that team's going to regress quick.
And do you felt like they did this year, that they drafted well?
No.
'Cause I'm not certain they did.
No, they never have. Since John Lynch has been here, they've been one of the 5 worst drafting teams in the league. I've been screaming that for years. But they made it to the NFC Championship game, or they made it to the Super Bowl. Of course they did. This is a super high top end roster. Over time, that's going to regress. We're to regression time. Because the Lions have caught you, the Eagles have caught you, the Cowboys aren't far away, the Rams aren't far away, the Bears aren't far away. So the days of, hey, we made it to the Super Bowl because we were the only competent team in the NFC that had ever been here before, and we survived. That is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you they're going to go 6-11. You're just going to see a regression. Little by little, day by day, year by year.
Yep. All right, speaking of regression, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I want to say mean things about your
like
team.
the draft.
I want to say mean things about your
let's
team.
go.
I want to.
LFG.
I want to. I can't. Because you did good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if I like it as much as you do.
I mean, look, I knew there was a great chance that we were just going to completely screw this up. So the fact that we didn't, and we got some really usable pieces with pretty much every pick. I mean, I don't know much about Elijah Klein from UTEP or Devin Colt from why, I mean, I know Culp a little bit.
You should know Devin Culp because he's going to be a usable piece.
Right, but all of the other picks to me were, I don't know if I'd call them home runs, but the first one was Graham Barton, Chris Braswell, Tyke Smith, Jalen McMillan. I can see all of those guys playing immediate impact roles. Maybe not as starters, obviously, but somewhere down the line, you can get a big play out of these guys. I mean, hell, we saw Trey Palmer come in and make an impact for this team last year.
None of what you just said is wrong. The only thing that I ask you is expensive Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this team is good enough to beat a legit schedule? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at your schedule.
As I say, 9 wins, I wouldn't think is a 2 out of the realm.
Okay.
Beating the schedule, do you put that at 11 or 12? Because that's out of the question for me.
No doubt. So how would you say this team finishes in the division? You obviously have home and homes with, I'll go 4-2. I think it's probably 3-3, but I'll go 4-2.
Yeah. I mean, I would say we're second in the division, probably 9-8. Lose to the 10-win Saints.
Okay. So, all right, let's say we go.
Somebody's going to win this division in the same realm that we did last year.
All right,
9-8, 10-7, skipping in.
All right, so we'll just go 4-2. That's fine. Tell me where the wins come in, because you played this on the road. The Giants, that should be a win. At the Cowboys, at the Chiefs, at the Chargers, at the Falcons, or no, sorry, that's a division. At the Chargers, at the Lions. I'm not seeing wins there.
That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
Then here's what you play at home. The Commanders, the Broncos. Those are winnable.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia Eagles, Las Vegas Raiders, San Francisco 49ers, Baltimore Ravens. That's a big old gross sandwich right there.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule got tougher, and the team did not get all that much better. That's what I said last year, is just wait until you see what this schedule looks like compared to the cream puffs that the rest of your division is playing. Because look at the schedules for Atlanta and Carolina and New Orleans and realize it don't look like that.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be tough for this team to win the division, but I do feel like the rest of the team got better. Your quarterback's still your weak link, and your coach is still your weak link.
Correct.
It's why this division continues to be up for grabs, because you can't trust New Orleans, you can't trust Tampa, you can't trust Atlanta, and Carolina's, well, they're trying to recover from a really, really bad season.
Well, I mean, look, this division will be won by the team that can manage to stave off their own suckitude the best. Kevin, the PRF in our YouTube comments had a question for me. Thought I didn't like Caleb Williams, of which I don't. Rookie year, the Bears are a top NFC team. Look at the roster, 2-53. I'm not sure Mitch Trubisky couldn't win 10 games with what's around Caleb Williams. They did a great job of putting him in a position to succeed. That's the reason I'm saying they're right there. And in terms of talent, yeah, I like Caleb Williams better than Brock Purdy, and it's not really all that close.
Skip the Seattle Seahawks, just an oversight on my part. How did you feel about their draft, and where did they fail?
Well, I mean, I love that they went Byron Murphy to start. They had been, according to the media, they were locked in on Troy Fautano, which apparently was just all complete crap. Because it sounds like they were locked in on Byron Murphy the whole time. I don't really have a qualm with anything they did. Look, you got a high-level starter to me in Christian Haynes in the third round. You're way higher on Tyrus Knight than I was. Tyrus Knight, excuse me. Higher on A.J. Barner than I was. But then you got the two guys from Auburn that I said repeatedly that I absolutely loved. One of them is going to be really good, and that makes that cornerback room terrifying. Adding that to Reek Woolen and adding that to Devin Witherspoon. So Taya Lamea is a guy that I think can play guard. Might take him a year to do it. But, I mean, I'm here for it with Seattle. It just comes back to Geno Smith.
Yep. Geno Smith and what's Mike McCormick going to be like as a head coach?
Mike McDonald.
In the NFL. Or Mike McDonald. God, who the hell's Mike McCormick?
I don't know. I think he's that's the real name of the mascot for the Asheville Tourists.
For the Asheville Tourists.
I think that's Teddy Tourist. His real name is Mike McCormick.
No. His real name is Ted E. Tourist. That's Mr. Moon's real name. Mike McCormick.
Yeah, if Teddy was evading arrest, his fake ID would say Mike McCormick.
Yes. I think I used to work with a guy named Mike McCormick a long time ago. Actually, yeah, he was one of my first bosses at Best Buy when I was in college. The Tennessee
What up, Mike?
Titans. Yeah, what up, Mike?
What up, Mike?
Been a long time. The Tennessee Titans. Number 7 pick was J.C. Latham. That was not great. Tavondre Sweat, I'll give you points for. Cedric Gray, thumbs up. J.C. Latham, I ain't buying it.
Look, they think they can turn him into a left tackle. Do I agree? Oh, good God, no. And if you had anybody else other than Bill Callahan, I probably would have just crucified this. But if anybody can do it, it's him. I do not know what you're doing at left tackle. If it's Latham off the jump, I'm telling you right now, it will be ugly to start. Question is, can you improve it? Good thing is for Tennessee, you were a year away anyway. You can at least now figure out what you have in Will Levis, which is the biggest thing that they have to do moving forward is figure out, hey, do we have a quarterback? If you do, you're going to go roughly 7-10. You'll know going into next year, you can really bulk up things around him. If not, you're going to go about 4-13, and you'll really know. And then you're in that quarterback derby next year.
Last year, Will Levis had DeAndre Hopkins and
Mike McCormick. I think Mike McCormick was actually the slot receiver. The guy you worked for at Best Buy, not any other special actual Mike McCormick.
No, Mike McCormick was backing up Nick Westbrook-Akina last year. And now I've got DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd. Feel much better about that. Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears coming out of the backfield. It is a situation much better now for Will Levis. Can he take the step? Can he be the guy? You believe he can. This is the year for him to prove it to the rest of us.
You also undervalue how big of a deal it is that he's going into the year as the starter, gets all the offseason reps, and there is nobody there to challenge him. That is a big deal.
Finally, the Washington Commanders. One of the teams with the most draft capital and killed it with the Jaden Daniels pick, got Johnny Newton, Mike Sanderstill. They got a lot of good talent on this team, even down to Jordan McGee.
Yeah, you were all about Jordan McGee.
I love Jordan McGee.
I did not like the 2 third-round picks, and I thought Ben Sinnott was a little high. But you added, no doubt, immediate starters. Jaden Daniels, day 1 starter, no doubt. Johnny Newton, day 1 starter, no doubt. Mike Sanderstill, he will start in the slot, and I think he is going to be really good in the NFL. Ben Sinnott's their starting tight end by hook or by crook. I'm not saying I love it, but it's true. Brandon Coleman probably starts off the jump. That's 5 starters at minimum if you didn't hit one later in the class, and I think you might have.
Are they a threat?
Depends on what you're asking me. Are they a threat to?
In the NFC East.
To win it?
Are they a threat to one of the top 2? Are they a threat to either the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles?
The NFC East is – I wish I could play like Kentucky Derby betting on the NFC East because I would play a super trifecta of Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Commanders 3, Giants 4, and I'm not sure I wouldn't bet my ability to have fun for the rest of my life on it. But I do think Washington is closer to Dallas than the Giants are to Washington. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's probably the best I've got.
Yes, it did. It did, because that's exactly what I was thinking, and you just confirmed it for me. Because, I mean, I felt like we said this last year. It's a team that could take a step, but now that you've added talent, you've added a quarterback, you got the new coach in, which I'm not crazy about, but I feel better about them this year than I did last year.
You know what Washington just did above all else?
They could take that step.
What Washington just did above all else is they showed that Adam Peters is as good as a GM prospect-wise. We don't know what you'll be until we've seen you in the chair for a year or two. But in terms of evaluating the draft, making the most of your draft capital in what I think is the most pivotal draft they've had in 10 years, he went out there and killed it. So now the days of Jamin Davis at 20 when nobody else was doing that, I think that time has passed. So now you can look to the future and feel like Jaden Daniels is going to be put in a position to succeed. That's all you could ask for.
We appreciate everybody, as always, tuning in to the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Back with you tomorrow for a special Power Rankings Wednesday, putting the exclamation point on the offseason here. Who made the best moves, who made the worst moves, and who is a real contender, and who is just, hoping for next year's draft to be really good for them. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Say I love you this Mother's Day with a beautiful
Any quick.
Hang tight till after we run through the top of the hour, because I want to go over this schedule before I do the presentation tomorrow.
No doubt.
10%. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Health and Rehabilitation is known for compassionate care for all across its 18 North Carolina locations. Whether your loved one needs short-term rehabilitation or long-term care, our exceptional staff and comprehensive services are here to support their recovery or ongoing needs.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Shinecup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
An afternoon where we'll see some isolated showers try to push on through, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but really not too excited about any additional rain chances. Although the chance isn't 0, I would keep it very low. A few showers, thunder showers right through this evening. We'll get up to 84 today. Tonight we'll drop most likely down into the low 60s. A few showers, thunderstorms around tomorrow and again on Thursday. And maybe a stronger storm or two, especially to the east. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.